Thank you. Thank you, Shobji. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I hope participants are joining in. So we can start in a couple of minutes. Let everybody join in. The whoever has joined, just ping in the chat box so that I get to know how many people have joined. Good morning, Kaushiki. Good morning, Viraj. Good morning, Shailesh. Good morning, Mansha. Good morning, Shruti, Sumit, Badri Vishal. Okay. So I think, good morning, Preeti. So I think most of the people have joined in. So we can now start. Mm. So later on, I don't know, Preeti, how you'll ask queries. You can ask the questions in the live session. Okay. So topic for the day is accounting and technology. As you must be aware about this is a newly introduced topic in the course, and this is all theoretical. So we will not discuss any sort of accounting or disclosure of any of the indices today. So that is the big relaxation for everybody, right? So we will all discuss how technology, is playing a crucial role in the field of accounting and reporting, right? So that is the main agenda for the day, and how accounting has evolved over the period. We will get some insights into the history of accounting as well before we kick off this chapter, and thereafter we will discuss like how ERP is playing a role in accounting and reporting. What are the pros and cons of the ERP? Then how the next generation technology, that is AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, can be useful for accounting and reporting. What are the pros and cons of the AI and ML, right? And blockchain as well. How that can be helpful for our finance professionals. So this is all the topic of the day. So broadly, the agenda for the day is this. This is the chapter overview from your CA final, study material. So first section is evolution of accounting, right? So how the accounting has evolved over the period, right? Then what is the current state of the technology in accounting, right? So at present, what is the status? How the technology is leveraged, by the companies and accounting professionals for achieving their accounting and reporting objectives. Then there are three subsections into this. One is the automation process, right? So what automation means, what are the pros and cons of the automation, how the automation is done, and what we are trying to achieve by doing the automation of all the manual activities which we have been doing earlier. So all this is the discussion. Then cloud computing. What does cloud computing means? What are the applications of cloud computing? So that is the next point. And then ERP. What ERP is? So anyway, we will not talk about what ERPs companies are using. we will discuss the concept of ERP, right? We are not going to learn anything about the Tally or the SAP or the Oracle, right? Or the other any other ERPs, Salesforce, etc. available in the market. But we will, in principle, understand what ERP actually means, what are the pros and cons of the ERPs, and what is happening, around those. Then we will discuss cyber security. So risk, cyber security, how cyber security risks are being addressed, and what are the issues around there. Then future of technology in the accounting, like AI, artificial intelligence, ML, machine learning, blockchain. So all these things. And thereafter, lastly, we will discuss how the India's, implementation can be, achieved by using some information technology and tools, right? So this is the broad overview of the discussion for the day, and you must be, enjoying this session. Many of you, are tech savvy persons because you are the next generation. So probably I expect that you would be knowing these things already, what artificial intelligence means, what machine learning means, what is the blockchain, how the blockchain is, uh, getting evolved around the world. So you must be knowing all those things already, but we will try to discuss, and let's start. So first section is evolution of accounting, right? So although we know that we have been studying IGAP previously, now we are studying NDS, but there are certain, stages through which the accounting has evolved over the period, right? So let's get back into, history. This is all the, content from your study material itself, and this is the new topic altogether. So I think we shouldn't be, missing anything on this chapter, and this is all theoretical as such, right? There wouldn't be any calculator required for doing anything here. So let's try to understand some history of the accounting, right? So, early civilizations, ancient civilizations like Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, all these civilizations, started, early on accounting. Primarily, accounting at that time meant record keeping for tax purposes, right? So whoever was the ruler, there, so there should be any, collections of the taxes from the general public. So for that purpose, some records, were maintained. So that was called accounting, right? Now, thereafter, some systems were developed which were all manual and paper based, right? So even in India, I'm not sure if you have ever seen, there were, earlier, we used to prepare the accounts in manual papers, like that was called bahi khata, right? I'm not sure if you have heard that term. So if you talk about, chartered accountants who are in practice, since 60s, 70s, 80s even. So they will all be able to, tell you in detail how the bahi khata was maintained manually. And, bahi khata was like a proper bunch of papers, and that were all those papers were assembled by binding, manually. And then there is a key as well. So you cannot simply open that bahi khata. There is a key. You insert the key in the bahi khata, and, open the lock, and then, you get to open that particular folder or file, right? So that's how they were, safety was ensured. And all this process of accounting was too much labor intensive, right? Because there was no technology at all involved. So, for each of the account codes, for each of the debtors, for each of the creditors, there are separate GLs, there are separate ledgers maintained in manual form. And, a lot of people have been assigned with the responsibility of, updating the transactions for those debtors, creditors, and expenses or fixed asset register, etc., etc. So everything was maintained in, paper form, right? Then thereafter time passed, and, people started looking at more advanced solutions in India as well. I'm not sure if you have heard, there was a scholar, Chanakya, right, who has written Arthashastra, right? So it was some 2500 years back. uh, Chanakya has written this Arthashastra. that contains few detailed aspects of maintaining books and books of accounts, right, for the government purposes, right? So in India as well, some evolution of the record keeping was being done, and there were some basic principles were designed which everybody needs to follow, right, just to ensure some sort of understanding and standardization, right, even at that time. Then thereafter, finally, the Italian person Luca Paoli, right? Paoli finally was recognized as the father of accounting, right? And bookkeeping, because he was the first person to publish a double entry bookkeeping system. First time. So very first time he introduced double entry bookkeeping, which we are following even today, right? So we know what double entry means. One asset is debited, liability is credited, right? Or one asset is debited, another asset is credited at the same time. So this is double entry bookkeeping system was first introduced by this person, right? And hence he was recognized as father of accounting. And he introduced this first in Italy only. Subsequently, other countries have adopted as well, right? Similar practices. So this is broad history. Then subsequently, accounting practices evolved to include double entry bookkeeping. The system enabled businesses to create balance sheet, right? Only after this double entry bookkeeping was introduced, balance sheet, could have been prepared, right? Which showed, the financial position of those, companies at a particular date or given time, right? So the introduction of double entry bookkeeping was significant milestone in the history of accounting and laid the foundation for modern day accounting practices. Correct. Industrial revolution has started, happening, and there were significant changes came in for accounting professionals as well because of industrialization. More, advanced level of records were expected to be maintained because mass production started happening because of industrialization, right? So accounting started becoming more complex, requiring more detailed records of the financial transactions, right? So this period of industrialization led to rise of the accounting profession as a profession as such, right? So earlier accounting profession was not recognized as profession. Now because of this industrial revolution, right? So accounting was, key thing, everybody was looking for. So this was recognized as a profession during those periods. And with the establishment of first professional accounting organizations. So very first time, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Scotland, was constructed, and it is recognized as world's oldest and first professional chartered accountants body, right? Being established by the Royal Charter in 1854. So you see, 1854, almost, 200, 180 years back, right? Then thereafter, Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, Certified Practicing Accountant Australia, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, right, were finally, uh, started coming into the picture in 19th century, right? And the Chartered Accountants of Ireland, right? So all this happened, all these professional bodies, started establishing in 19th century, and finally in 20th century. So, our Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, right? And Singapore Chartered Accountants, these two professional bodies came into in 20th century, right? So this is how, accounting has evolved over the period. And now we are, recognized as a accounting professionals. And this is a quite developed profession now. But even now, we are still following, a lot of, we are still following manual processes for a lot of the accounting and, bookkeeping things. So everybody is not yet completely automated. So even we are in the development phase only. We cannot say that accounting profession is now fully developed, right? Then post-industrial period led technological advancements. Computers were introduced somewhere in 1999, 2000 in India, right? Or even some years prior to that. And when the computer came, it completely transformed the accounting profession, right? So whatever accounting we have been doing till then, all in the paper form, we started using the computers for that. So computers started, helping in accounting, making the processes faster, calculations more accurate. So all these things we have used Excel for preparation of the balance sheets. And even in the absence of ERPs in earlier days, most of the companies have been started maintaining the records in the Excel only, right? All the ledgers, etc. So, for example, earlier in a bank, interest calculation was all done manually, right? I'm not sure if you have ever visited the GPO, and because post offices also maintains uh, public deposits on which they pay interest. So, post offices, were the last organization to use computers, right? So when all the banking system, financial system was computerized, post office was still running on manual records, but they have also migrated now to computers. So in post offices, even in banks for that matter, earlier when computers were not there, all the interest calculations happened manually, right? And this uh, calculation itself took almost a month. So bank generally credits the interest, say for the month of March, somewhere in the month of July. So it took 2 to 3 months for the banking employees to finalize all the calculations, getting their reviews done by their bosses. And once everything is done, then they pass on the credit entry in the depositors' accounts. So this was quite delayed earlier. But when computers were introduced, so interest calculation could have been done, within a day max, maintain because all the records are there in the Excel file. So it led to speed in doing all these underlying calculations basis on which accounting could have been done, right? Now currently you must be knowing that cloud computing, artificial intelligence even are being introduced by some of the companies. They are integrated with some of the ERPs now. So these technologies are playing a crucial role in identifying the patterns, and these are the technologies which will help management in preventing the frauds, because they analyze the huge volume of data for last 10 years, 20 years, right? Basis on that, they develop some trends or patterns, and basis on those patterns and trends, they give red flags to the management that this transaction is suspicious. So these technologies are being equipped with so much advancement, right? So we will see in future what is the outcome of these are currently in place. So that's all about the evolution of accounting, right? So this is the basic thing. I'm getting some questions. What is type accounting in blockchain? Okay, so 16 November website is not accessible. Why we write debit SDR? This is just short form. In class 11, 12 also manual accounting is taught. Correct. There should be practical period for commerce students also to taught tally, etc. No, so tally is not the thing which needs to be taught. If you are interested in uh, using some or knowing about some of the ERPs, you can do it yourself. As such, those are not you know the agenda for the day. Software idea is taught to us in advanced IT. Probably. So, because this chapter is newly introduced in the financial reporting, so the objective of this is only to, bridge the gap between the manual accounting and the technology. So, how technology is playing a crucial role in helping the accounting professionals or finance professionals. That's it. So, you are expected by the end of this chapter to understand the role of technology rather than mastering any of the ERPs or any of the technologies as such. Even we are chartered accountants, we are not IT professionals, that we need to get into the shoes of IT professionals to understand how these technologies are running in the background, right? So that is not at all you know the thing which we need to learn. Anyway, if anybody is interested, they can do their own research. They can watch some videos on the YouTube to understand how these technologies are doing, right? Okay. So first topic is automation process. So as the name automation means that to automate something, right, which was being done manually, now it will be done by technology or computer without much involvement of human intervention, right? So automation is the use of software and other tools to automate manual processes, making them faster and more accurate, right? So, for example, interest calculation I have just discussed. So earlier we used to calculate the interest manually for each of the depositor, then sum up the interest amount for all of the depositors, and then we pass a single entry in our books of accounts and crediting those sub ledgers of all the depositors, right? So this is all manual. Now with the introduction of the software, so all the records of the depositors are being maintained in the software itself. Like you must be using the Paytm, or you must be using the internet banking, and you are able to see that all your transactions are being recorded in electronic form, right? Nowadays people don't go to the bank and ask for a passbook completion. Passbook has almost evaporated from the system, right? So it is all a app on your mobile. You just log in your app by entering the pin, and you can see the statement for last 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, right? And you can see all those transactions electronically. So all these electronic records are being maintained by some ERP, by the banks, right? So within the ERP, so they have used a module for interest calculation as well. So that module is responsible for calculating the interest amount on all your savings accounts, time deposits, fixed deposits, recurring deposits, all these types of deposits, right, for all of the customers of the bank. And then it consolidates entry and give it to the ERP, right? And that gets reflected in their accounting system, and your individual accounts gets credited with those individual interest amounts related to your accounts. So this is how ERP is automating this manual process, saving a lot of man hours, right? And it has made the process very accurate and faster, because software, if does the calculation, it will not be mistaken, right? Unless and until any of the instruction or program in the software is uh, you know mistaken by the IT professional, right? So that testing has already been done, right? All the scenarios have already been tested. UAT has had already been done. Thereafter only it was made live. So we don't expect as such any calculation errors, right? When the calculations are performed by the computers, right? So this is how automation of the interest calculation has happened. Similarly, for other processes, for example, suppose there are journal entries pertaining to the depreciation, right? And company, gets the depreciation calculated by the system itself, and depreciation, calculated by the system gets posted as well, right, in the books of accounts. So now no human person involvement is required anymore in calculating the depreciation for any of the fixed assets. So as soon as people, do the additions of the fixed assets in the ERP automatically picks up, the date of the addition from which the depreciation needs to be calculated, and, life, etc. All these features are being entered at the time of the addition only, and rest all the job is done by the ERP itself. So there is no requirement to prepare the, depreciation schedule in Excel and, compute the depreciation and then post the entry. So all this process has been done by the ERP itself, right? So these are some examples, and ERP is almost handling all the possible manual activities which can be automated in nowadays. So if I'm not sure if you have ever used SAP or Oracle, or there are other softwares as well. So all those softwares have their own pros and cons, but all more or less all the ERPs does maximum part of the job, right? So it led to saving in time for the man hours, And now the accounting professionals, which were earlier occupied doing all these small things manually, they have more time to analyze the financial statements, right? Instead of doing these manual things. So it is, bringing up the efficiency as well as effectiveness, right? So efficiency in terms of saving the time, making the process faster, making the process more accurate and effective, because these people now have time to analyze the financial performance better rather than, doing the record keeping and, posting basic journal entries or doing basic calculations, right? So this is the automation process, which is helping, a lot in accounting. Yes, SAP and ERP. So ERP is not a software. ERP is enterprise resource planning, right? So there are many ERPs available in the market. So ERP is a term. ERP is not the name of a particular software. Please be clear, right? SAP is one of the ERP, fully integrated ERP, I would say, right? So that is being used by various companies. Like, for example, for banking, generally CBS is the name of the ERP which is being used by most of the banks. CBS, core banking system. Okay. Technology is a tool skill. We should know how to use this tool to survive in this current competition. Tool can't replace human, but it makes skilled workforce. Correct. So you have just touched upon, one of the topic we will cover today. So because you have pinged, so I just, give you a brief idea. So because technology is, getting advanced day by day, so they are just, eliminating all those things which were being done by the people, right? So now if those things are being done by technology and tools, then these people will start, becoming idle, right? And there would be certain job losses as well, which has already been, the topic in the news for quite some time. So now the challenge for us is that we need to be, competitive enough. We need to be updated about what trends are coming in. Accordingly, we need to be prepared better, right? Apart from our technical accounting knowledge, apart from other, knowledge which we have gained, we should also have a experience in, handling these tools, because we know what India says, but if we do not know how the particular ERP or tool which is there by in the organization needs to be used, then certainly, it will be a uh, it will not be a good thing for us, right? So we have to learn what is happening around the world in the field of accounting. What are the new things coming in? We should all be on the top of all those things, right? I agree with that. Okay. Now, let me take one more example which you will be able to easily correlate with your daily life. So you must have been visited, malls or, any of the departmental chains, right? To buy any of the commodities like grocery, clothing, or etc., toys, mobile phones, whatever. So when you enter into the departmental store, right, be it Reliance or Walmart or any other, so what generally happens, you enter the uh, uh, store and you start, picking up the things you would like to buy. And, once you reach the counter, right, for the billing counter, so you just hand it over all those goods to the person sitting at the counter, right? This is the normal process which we follow in our daily life. Now, what happens once you reach the billing counter? So, the person at the counter simply scans the barcodes on all those items, correct? And as soon as he scans the barcode, all those items starts getting populated in the computer screen, right? In his ERP or the software, right? So once the scanning is done, say you have bought 10 items, he has scanned all the 10 items, and that 10 items gets automatically populated there, along with the quantity, along with the MRP, discount, and the final amount payable, right? So all those things happen so quickly that, Otherwise, it all needs to be prepared manually in earlier days, right? So scanning automatically reads all the data, inputs the item procured and the corresponding selling price, discounts, etc. And bills are generated within couple of minutes, right? And you make the payment of the bill is printed and handed over to the customer. So this is the process which nowadays we are experiencing, right? Earlier what was happening, we used to submit a list of the items to the shopkeeper. That shopkeeper goes inside into his shop and collects all those items. Then he actually manually prepares a list of all those items, put the MRP, discount, whatever, make the total, okay, and then ask for the payment. So it was taking significant time, right? Now this time has been reduced by using this barcode technology by all these departmental chains, right? So bill generation is super fast. So what it seems to be fast, what all things are being done by this barcode technology and the associated ERP in the background, that now we need to just understand, so that we will understand how this automation process led to this manual process transformed into a automatic process. So in the backend, what was happening when the items were being scanned? So when items were scanned at the billing counter, the inventory of the said item at the departmental store is simultaneously updated, recording the issue and the sale, right? So as soon as the person scans the barcode, so as soon as the item gets, listed in your bill, it is automatically deleted from the inventory of the departmental chain at the same time, right? And it ensures that inventory is debited and sales are credited once the bill is generated. So as soon as the departmental store person clicks on generate bill and takes the printout, the entry in the background ERP is also posted for making the sales, right? And debiting the cost of goods sold. So this is how, in the backend, this system is doing the accounting as well, apart from generating the billing for you, right? This ensures accuracy in maintenance of the inventory data. Periodical physical check of the inventory will give conclusive evidence of the correctness of the data generated by the system, thereby giving comfort on the management assertions of accuracy, valuation, and existence to the inventory. So earlier, when there was no barcode technology, what used to happen at the day end, shopkeeper generally makes finalize the day sales and list down all the items he has sold, and they automatically update their they manually update their inventory registers manually, right? Earlier this was all taking time, generally a day or two, right, for them. But now it is happening at the real time as and when the bills are being generated by the departmental store. In certain cases, software is also programmed that indirect tax like GST levied on the sales value as per the invoice is updated simultaneously in the GST ledger, and it can get uploaded on the GST portal as well at the end of the day when the accounting team by the accounting team in the backend. So by the day end, whatever the bills are generated on all those bills, cumulative or consolidated amount of GST entry has also been prepared by the ERP, posted into their books of accounts, and it also get uploaded on the GST portal, right? So ERPs nowadays are so much advanced, right? So this ensures accuracy in the GST returns uploaded, thereby minimizing the need for the manual reconciliation and the data maintenance, right? So ERP is doing anything and everything for you with a single click, right? Software are also programmed to ensure that bill amount is automatically displayed on the point of sale machine. So point of sale machine is that machine through which you get your bill generated, right? And as when the customer makes the payment either through debit card or through UPI or phone pay, whatever, customer opts to make and if customer opts to make payment in cash, entering the amount on the screen, it will open the cash drawer in which the cash is paid is deposited. So what it is talking about, you must have seen, at airport lounges or at airport, there are certain, stores where there are no persons at all. So whatever item you need to pick, you just pick that item and do the scanning of your item's barcode, bill gets generated. And if you opt for a cash payment, as soon as you click, touch on the screen cash payment, so a drawer automatically opens and you insert the cash in that drawer, it gets closed, counts it, and prints the bill. So this is a fully automated without any involvement at all by the human, right? So this is also the next leg of automation, right? So as soon as you put the cash in the drawer, it gets counted, and in case of mismatch, you know the concerned person can be identified if you have deposited short cash or anything is being not telling with the bill, right? Or if there is any misappropriation of cash, so it raises the alarm as well, this system, right? It records that whatever the shortfall was there. So this is how automation is saving a lot of time of the human in their day-to-day lives as well, apart from accounting, right? Now, everything comes with some benefits and some challenges as well, right? So in the automation as well, there are certain challenges. For example, need for a continuous training and education to keep up with the latest technology, because technology is being evolved over the period, and they are getting updated day by day. And one of the example could be that if you are using Android phones or Apple iPhones, you get a notification almost every month or two that please upgrade your operating system to the new Android version or the new iOS version, right? And then you simply click on upgrade and it gets updated in the background, right? So technologies are being updated and upgraded continuously. So people have to be trained, uh, to use them better. And as we are moving more towards technology and we are getting dependent on the technology, right? So there are the risk of cyber attacks, cyber threats, data breaches, which can compromise the security and the confidentiality of your financial data, right? You must have been hearing that, somewhere in the past that, ICICI Bank uh, website was hacked, but they could, save on that. Just a few months back, we have heard in the news that AIMS, All India Medical, right, website was hacked, and they asked for some ransom money, to give the access back to the AIMS, and it was down for almost 3-4 days, right? So as soon as we are leveraging more technology, we are heavily becoming dependent on the technology, all these risks simultaneously increases. Now, because of the automation, potential loss of jobs as well, you know increasing. So people are using technology more, so they would be needing less people in the organization, right? So this will lead to job cuts or job losses in future. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't be moving towards the software or automation or technology, but what I'm saying is we should be equipped enough to understand which technologies are there and which are the upcoming technologies or the things, and we should be started educating ourselves about those changes, right? To continue to be relevant in the market, right? So this is the thing which we need to keep an eye on, right? Now, another automation related item is robotic process automation, RPA. This is called RPA. Okay. Robotic process automation. So automation is automation, which we have just understood. Process means particular process. For example, posting journal entry, calculating depreciation, calculation of interest on the deposits by the banks. This is called a process. And robotic means now this is being done by using technology, right? So robotic process automation is an emerging technology that revolutionizes financial reporting processes. Okay. RPA utilizes software robots, or to be short, bots, right? So, for example, you must have seen or used, GPS navigation while driving, and it, tells you now take right after 300 meters, left after 200 meters, and so on, right? Similarly, you must have used Alexa, right, for your day-to-day activities. You just simply, instead of typing anything, you can speak that, and it automatically gets searched on your mobile or laptops, right? So these are, coming in the category of RPA, robotic process automation. So process was that to do something which is being done by some bots instead of you, right? So what generally it does, automate the manual and the repetitive tasks in financial data processing, analysis, and reporting. Now we will restrict our discussion to the financial reporting, right? Rather than going here and there. So by mimicking human interactions with digital systems, RPA bots can extract and consolidate data, perform calculations, generate reports, and ensure compliance with the accounting standards. So what it is doing, so suppose every month we do the interest calculation, right? Now the system is equipped to understand this entry, needs to be done every month. So we can design a frequency there that every month you need to perform this calculation for this period, say for 1st to 31st, you perform the calculation on the 31st, right? So system will, is programmed to do those calculations at the last day of every month, and, getting this entry posted in the accounting records automatically. Similar thing, can be done for the depreciation, right? And once these are done, you can, extract any reports which you want, or you, because whatever compliances are there are already being ensured by the system. So you have to do nothing. You can just see by downloading those reports and, seeing that accounting is done by the ERP in the system, right? The adoption of RPA in the financial reporting improves accuracy, enhances efficiency, right? And frees up valuable time of the finance professionals to focus more on strategic activities rather than repetitive and manual tasks, right? So, because now you have nothing to do, so what you will do during your entire day in the organization? So instead of doing all these manual and repetitive jobs which are being done by the system now, you would be expected to focus more upon the analysis of the financial statements, right? And, help the management in taking some strategic decisions about the organization's future plans and policies, right? So that, the time is being freed up. So accuracy is ensured, efficiency is increased, and, valuable time of the finance professionals, is freed up for more strategic things. So this is the benefit of, RPA. Moreover, RPA enables organizations to achieve timely reporting, cost saving, increased data integrity, and ultimately leading to more reliable and insightful information. Correct? So because everything is programmed in the system now, it will be done by system. So it will be more accurate, and, will be done within the time, right? Cost saving is there because less people would be required in the organization now, right? And data integrity is also maintained because it is not biased by any particular human. It is all done by the system. So integrity is also increased. So these are all pros, of the RPAs. Any question anybody wants to ask, or, anything anybody wants to add? I'm happy if you want to, add on anything, if you know anything which you want to share with us or the group. So Suraj is saying, CBS he has seen in the audit of the banks Perfect. Mansha is saying somehow technology is killing our creativity. I wouldn't say technology is killing creativity. I would say technology is, giving you more time to do better things rather than, getting involved in doing, small manual things. So technology is helping you as well. I wouldn't say it is killing creativity, but certainly, uh, RPA is used in audit. Yes, it is used in audit as well. RPA includes bots. Correct. So you guys are, new generation people. You must be knowing all these things already, right? The only thing is now what you know, you need to correlate all those with your accounting, how those technologies and tools, are integrated, to help you in achieving your accounting and reporting purposes. That is the mental model shift you need to do so that you will be able to understand this chapter better. And if, because this is a new topic, if there are any questions coming up from this chapter in examination, say for 5, 7, 10 marks, it will be all, easy thing for you to, pick up that question and, write the answer. Correct, Sumit. Technology is increasing the productivity, correct. Suraj is saying RPA is similar to AI like ChatGPT. No, RPA is not similar to AI. So AI, artificial intelligence, is altogether different thing. I will discuss that as well. RPA is basically needs to be programmed, right? AI doesn't need any programming as such. AI means uh, it understands the things automatically over the period by observing the human, deeds. Basically, AI is that artificial intelligence. Intelligence is there in the system, but that intelligence improvises over the period after seeing lot of things done by the human, right? So that is called AI. So AI improvises itself over the period, right? But RPAs are fully programmed tools where we just program that this particular thing has to be done on this particular frequency, on this particular date, and in this particular manner. All the coding and programming has to be there. Then only RPA will run. RPA for finance example. Okay. Kaushik is asking. So suppose, we do account reconciliations as well. We do bank reconciliation statements, right? We prepare bank reconciliation statements. Now, if we design our ERP to automatically come up with the bank reconciliation prepared, and what all we need to do is to give them a bank statement every month, right? So as soon as we upload the bank statement, say in the PDF or the Excel or the TXT form, whatever the functionality is there. So system automatically picks up the transactions from the bank statement, matches with the books, and comes up with the exceptions. So this is all the program thing. So right. So this is all done by the system. And similar for other account reconciliations as well. Suppose if we want to reconcile a particular debtor balance, or we want to substantiate a particular debtor balance or overall debtors balance in the system, so we can program our system to do those reconciliations and throw the exception to us, right? So this is all RPA. Journal entries, gets prepared and posted in the system by itself. That is RPA. So RPA is not a separate software, I would say. RPA is sitting as a particular module within the software or within the ERP. For example, PeopleSoft. PeopleSoft is one of the software which has inbuilt RPA functionality. So by using that RPA functionality or the module within that software, we can automate our manual things, which otherwise we would end up doing manually if we do not automate, right? Okay. Now, next is cloud computing. I know you must be knowing or using the cloud for storage of your pictures, videos. So as soon as you click any photos and records any videos using your mobile phones, right, be it Android phone or the Apple iPhone, so you have the cloud storage available, so by the Apple as well as the Google, right? So there is a Google Drive which you can utilize for migrating your internal phone storage to the Google storage and end up freeing up some space in your phone, right? You're using that, correct? Now, if you correlate that cloud thing with your accounting and the computing, what it refers to. So instead of doing the things on a particular physical, system, it is all being done by a web-based applications over the internet, right? So, for example, suppose you were clicking photos on your mobile phone, and then Google Drive asks, do you want to upload these photos and free up your say 100 MB space? As soon as you click yes, those photos gets transferred to the Google Drive, and your phone's internal memory gets freed up. Now next time whenever you want to see those photos, you would be needing one thing only: internet connection, right? Because now they are on cloud, so every time you want to visit that cloud, you need internet connection. You can access those photos and see them, right? Same thing happens in the accounting world. So for example, if I was doing some calculations in Excel on my laptop, right? Now, instead of saving that Excel file here on the laptop internal memory, can I save that Excel file as well somewhere at the cloud given by my organization? Yes, right. On that cloud, it can be saved. And by doing so, the same Excel file can be accessed by multiple users, because now it is not on my laptop, hard disk. It is on the cloud, right? Getting my point? So that file can be accessed by other users as well in the organization, right? For example, if you are reporting to CFO, you have prepared some working, saved that file on the cloud. Now your CFO can, extract that file from the cloud and see and review it, and, give the comments over there, save it back there. You can also open that file next day and see what comments he has in the file. So this process is making faster. Earlier, what was happening? We used to prepare file, we send it to a particular person over the email. He sends back us that file over the email back to us with his comments, right? Now that email to and fro is cut down by using the cloud storage. So this is the example of the cloud storage. Now if I add cloud computing, so what cloud computing means? Computing, that is the calculations or some processes which are also being done over the cloud rather than on physical storage, right? So cloud computing refers to the delivery of the computing services over the internet, right? So cloud means internet-based accessible storage where things can be saved and can be accessed as and when needed by the people who have access or who are authorized to access those files. So that is called cloud storage. Now, cloud computing is that some calculations, some processes are also being handled at that cloud over the internet itself. It allows accountants to access their data and software from any device with an internet connection, right? So earlier, we used to offices and open our desktop and then start doing the work, saving the work in the desktop, shut down it and come back home. This was the process. Now thereafter laptops have arrived. Now we could have instead of going to office, we could have work from home as well by using the laptops, and we could exchange the data over the emails. Now the next leg of advancement is the cloud. So instead of exchanging the data over the emails, we can simply, save the files over a particular cloud, which is being provided by our organization, and anybody can access the data from there, right? So this is the third leg. Now the fourth leg is of advancement is that whatever the cloud storage is there, apart from that, all the calculations, workings, even other processes are being done on the cloud itself. So you are not doing anything on your laptop as of now. What you need to do, open your laptop, go to the web-based cloud website, enter your credentials, and then start working upon saving and close it. So it is getting done over the cloud itself from the very first place. This is how technology is evolving, and this is how we are benefiting by doing using the cloud storage and cloud computing. So, for example, during COVID-19 pandemic, cloud computing emerged as one of the good alternatives compared to the traditional client server architecture in physical locations controlled by the companies themselves, right? With the advent of the cloud computing, persons could access the system from their respective locations. Now, suppose you were doing the job in the Mumbai, but you are based out of Jaipur. Now, because of COVID, people have migrated back to their hometowns. Now, during that period, it was becoming cumbersome for the organizations to keep up with the pace of the workflow within the organization. Then cloud computing, cloud access emerged as one of the good alternatives, and entities, companies, all the enterprises migrated from their physical client server architecture to the cloud based architecture, right? And people were able to work remotely during the lockdown and ensure that accounting process and reporting requirements did not suffer adversely, right? Because of this cloud computing and cloud storage. Yes. So Kaushiki has given example like Computex. So Computex is a web-based application where you can prepare the returns, save it down there. Anybody in your organization can see them with their access. If they want to update that, they can update that. Once it is done, reviews are marked, it can be submitted or filed on the portal, right? So Computex, so any web-based application is a cloud-based computing basically, whatever web-based applications are there, right? Now, what are the common applications of the cloud computing? So, as I mentioned, cloud storage. First is the cloud storage. So now all the data and files and the documents are being saved on a cloud. They are not on a particular physical, architect servers on the of the organization or on a particular employee's laptop. So anybody can use that. For example, we have used Google Drive. Microsoft has OneDrive, right? Dropbox is there. So all these, are the examples of the cloud storage, right? Google Drive, we all use in our daily lives. Microsoft OneDrive is, a cloud-based storage offered by the Microsoft to all its clients, right? I use this OneDrive as well in my office work on a daily basis, right? So these applications give a cloud-based storage solutions that allow the users to store and access their files and data from anywhere with the internet connection. So the only thing is internet connection. If I do not have the internet connection, I will not be able to, retrieve the data from this cloud storage or access this files over the cloud storage. So every time I need to visit, I need internet connection, right? So this led to increase in the demand of the internet data as well. So earlier, what we could have done without internet, now we have to do that with internet only. If there is no internet, we cannot work. Then next is software as a service. The short term is SaaS, software as a service. SaaS platforms provide cloud-based software applications that users can access via internet. For example, Salesforce. So Salesforce is a web-based software or ERP system which companies purchases the license from the Salesforce company, and they can use it basis on the web-based as a web-based application. So this is used for generally customer relationship management by the NBFCs, non-banking financial companies, or by those companies who have numerous customers, right? So they can maintain each customer database. in the Salesforce. Slack of, uh, you know, for team collaboration, and QuickBooks Online for the accounting and financial management. So these are called SaaS, software as a service, using web-based application, right? Then infrastructure as a service, IS, basically infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service, IaaS providers offer visualized computing resources, including servers, storage, and networking infrastructure on a pay as you go basis. Examples: AWS, Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. These platform allows businesses to scale up their IT infrastructure based on the demand without the need for any physical hardware. So what was happening earlier days, every company was maintaining their own database, right? Own servers. You must have visited the server room by any chance, any of your clients, or if you are in company, any of your company. So those servers are, physically located in some physical location. Now, by using this infrastructure as a service application, companies, have cut down on all those infrastructure maintenance, right? So what they are doing now, they are simply purchasing the cloud rights from these service providers, for example, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, right? And these companies are maintaining large infrastructure setup basis, where they store all the data for all their clients, right? And as soon as we enter our credentials on their web-based applications, we can retrieve whatever data we need from, right? So Google Cloud Platform, Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure are, examples of these infrastructure as a service. Correct. Google Chromebook as well. Then platform as a service, PaaS. PaaS providers offer cloud-based platforms that enable developers to build, deploy, and manage applications without complexity of the infrastructure management. For example, Microsoft Azure App and Google App Engines. Now, your IT professionals, if they want to, develop some programs. So earlier, all those guys were using laptop internal hard disk, for doing all those programming stuff. Now Microsoft Azure, gives that stuff over the cloud as well. So instead of doing anything on my laptop hard disk as an IT professional, information technology expert, whatever the coding I need to do for any of my modules or the softwares, I can do that on a cloud based software and storage provided. So this is called platform as a service, PaaS. So basically, there are first thing is the cloud storage that we have understood already, right? Cloud storage. Next is software as a service, where the softwares are given through license and web-based applications. Infrastructure as a service, where infrastructure storage is allowed through a web-based application. And then platform as a service, where platform of doing any of the coding by the IT professionals is provided by web-based applications. So all these fall within the cloud computing, right? Cloud computing is the broader term which contains all these services or application areas. The next is cloud-based communication and collaboration, like we are doing at present as well. So what we have done, we have just logged in our Zoom meetings, and whatever I am saying here, whatever I am sharing my screen over here, you are able to hear me properly. You are able to see me and real time, and you are able to see my PPTs as well, right? So this is called cloud-based communication, right? So applications like Microsoft Teams, Google Workspace, formerly G Suite, then Zoom, which we are using at present, provide cloud-based communications and collaboration tools that facilitate real-time messaging, video conferencing, file sharing, and the project management, right? So during the lockdowns, even after that, many of the organizations have, cut on their physical offices. Now employees, are working from home remotely, right? So what they are doing now, they are doing all the work and all the meetings with their bosses or their teams via Google Teams, Zoom, right? All these applications. So they are able to, talk to their team via these apps. They are able to share whatever files or, data they want to share among them. They can do that as well, right? So all these called cloud-based communication and collaboration. Then cloud-based e-commerce. You must have been using Amazon, Flipkart, and various other shopping websites, to purchase any of the products, right? So that is called cloud-based e-commerce. Now, what in the backend Amazon and Flipkarts are doing? So they have listed down all the products, categorized them. They have constructed the product catalogs, right? They have integrated the payment apps with a lot of the banks, Paytm, etc. So all those platforms are integrated. Now you can go and visit the Amazon and Flipkart, select the product, right? Read the description features about of the product, see the images or videos of the product, right? And if you select it, just add to your cart, place the order, make the payment, right? So this is called cloud-based e-commerce. You are sitting at your home and you are able to do the shopping, right? So this is cloud-based e-commerce. Then big data analytics. Cloud computing enables organization to process and analyze large volumes of data. For example, Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery, Microsoft Azure Data Lake Analytics. These are certain names of these cloud-based applications which helps organizations in processing and analyzing large volumes of data over the cloud itself, right? And leading a valuable insights, from their data. So these apps generally help these organizations in understanding their big data, analyzing that data better, developing some patterns or trends, and giving the management deeper insights into their data. For example, if today Tata Motors wants to know, their sales basis on particular regions, particular states, or particular class of customers, right? So they can quickly, do the data mining by using these applications and come up with the outcome, right? So this is just uh, this analysis all available at a single click, right? In these applications. So these are the examples of some cloud-based softwares applications in our day-to-day practical life. Any questions or anything anybody wants to add on? Let me know anybody wants to ask anything. Nothing? Okay. Now, so we have just understood what cloud computing means and what are the various applications of the cloud computing, right? Now, let's quickly see what are the benefits of the cloud computing. So improved accessibility that we have already discussed, right? Because everything is now available on the cloud. So anybody within the organization who is authorized and having access can, log in the, cloud-based, web-based application and see the data and files, access them, use them, update them, review them, give the comments, right? And, save them back on the cloud, right? So this is improved accessibility, right? Now, nobody needs to email these files to their team members or their bosses again and again, and maintaining the version control because there is a single file anybody is accessing. Hence, version control is also addressed. Version control is automatically maintained by the cloud, right? So because there is a single version only, right? So this is improved accessibility. Then next is enhanced security. Cloud-based computing software provides typically offer advanced security features such as encryption firewalls, and multi-factor authentication, helping in the protection of sensitive financial data from cyber threats and data breaches. So encryption. So whenever we save anything on the cloud, it is generally encrypted by the system itself. Although we are not able to see that encryption because that is happening in the background. So when you click on the file, it gets open on your system the way it was saved by you. But as soon as the file is being saved here in the closed form, so that is all encrypted. It cannot be read by the by any person, right? So I'm not sure. Quite some time back, you must have seen some notifications over your WhatsApp that now your chats are encrypted. Have you ever seen that notification sometime back? Couple of, I guess, years back, there were certain notifications coming up on the WhatsApp on a daily basis. Please upgrade the app version. Now your chats are secured as they are encrypted, right? With by the WhatsApp. I'm not sure if you have ever seen that notification. So what WhatsApp did that during those times. So earlier WhatsApp chats were not encrypted. They could have been read by anybody who got access to your WhatsApp account by using their, systems. But now, even if they are able to, retrieve the data of your WhatsApp chat, they will not be able to read them through or open the files because they are all encrypted by the WhatsApp unless and until that encryption is also broken by that hacker, right? So if encryption is also broken, then definitely they will be able to access all your chats and other files you have shared with your friends over the WhatsApp. But unless and until that encryption is broken, it is at least not available for them to read or see them in first place, right? So that is the benefit of the encryption. Correct? Correct. Yes. So it read as end-to-end encryption. Correct. So WhatsApp, when notified this to their customers, it was reading as end-to-end encryption. Correct. That was the message. Correct. Then increased scalability. Now, cloud-based accounting software allows businesses to easily scale up or scale down based on their changing needs. As business grows, it can easily add new users and features without having invest in additional hardware and the software. What does it mean? Suppose there is an organization who is using the Microsoft Teams and Microsoft, OneDrive for their official purposes. Now it has at present say 50 employees. So what the organization must have done, they have bought the user IDs and licenses for 50 users, right? Now, going forward, if organization expands and they hire more people, say another 10 people have been hired now. So what they will do, instead of, doing any investment in hardware or, infrastructure for any additional employees storage, they simply go back and, renew the license instead of 50 for 60 by paying some additional fees because Microsoft generally allows these licenses based on the number of users, right? So as soon as the organization hires more employees, they can get the access arranged for those employees by simply paying up the fees for per user, right? Earlier, how it could have been done, whenever the additional employees have been hired, right? So organizations generally, need to invest in more, software and hardware for the server because it increases the load on their servers, right? So because the load on the server is being increased, so additional server investments, would have been required by the organizations. But now, as such, there is no server in the organization because all that server is being maintained by the Microsoft now, right? So we only have access to that cloud-based server via our laptop web-based application and credentials. So scalability is not a challenge now for a growing organization. So for startup companies, startup companies quickly hire and fire people, right? As you must have seen a news recently popping up on the Google News that Paytm has fired 1,000 employees uh, 3-4 days back, right? You must have seen. Now, for those 1,000 employees, if Paytm wants to save the cost, what they will do, if suppose for an example they have been using the Microsoft based cloud system for their businesses, so what they will do, they will surrender the 1,000 users rights, and the fees for the Microsoft will get reduced immediately with immediate effect, right? And in earlier days when there were no cloud based computing and softwares, organizations who have already increased the server setup, now they cannot downsize the server setup, because that is all the fixed cost they have already incurred. Now it cannot be downsized as quickly as it is possible in the world of cloud storage and cloud computing. Getting my point? So organizations can increase and reduce the scalability as and when there is a need, right? So for startup companies, if they want to hire 500 more employees, they will get the rights for those 500 employees quickly. If they want to fire 1,000 employees, they can surrender the right for those 1,000 employees and save the cost. So this is one of the benefit of the cloud computing for the organizations. Then reduced cost. Cloud-based computing software typically requires less upfront investment because we are not maintaining the server ourselves. All the server investment has been done by the Microsoft, right, on our behalf. And maintenance cost as well, because we are not maintaining the servers. So we wouldn't be needing to incur any expense as such on maintenance, repair and maintenance of the server, right? So what is happening now? We have simply installed Microsoft Office suite on the laptop or the desktop, right? And so earlier we have been using Microsoft suite on our laptops and desktop, right, as a separate installation. But now we have subscribed to Office 365 suite, which is a web-based application. So web-based application doesn't need as such any download on individual softwares, individual laptops and desktops. So you can simply access it by visiting the web page, right? So this is again reducing the costs which the organizations were incurring in earlier periods. Now they are able to save the cost on this, right? But anyway, in India, people have been using the pirated versions of the Microsoft Office suite, so they were not incurring the cost as such, right? Now, streamlined collaboration. Cloud-based accounting software allows multiple users to collaborate in real time, reducing the need for manual data entry and communication. This can help streamline workflows and reduce errors caused by the miscommunication. So what is happening? Because cloud-based software allows multiple users to access the same software or same file at the same time, and they can navigate the same file in real time, at the same time make the changes in the file simultaneously, and all the changes are automatically getting saved in the file, right? So this is streamlining the collaboration. So earlier what was happening, if anybody wants to work on a particular file, then unless and until that user closes that file, another user cannot open or cannot work upon that, right? Or even if the other person is opening the same file, it would have been opened only in the read-only format, right? Are you able to recall those days when a particular user has already opened a particular file? Another user, if wants to open that file, it could have been opened only in read-only format, right? But now this problem has also been addressed by the Microsoft. Now 10 users or 50 users can open the same file, make the changes in that file, and save that in a real time, and the file will be reflecting the changes of all the users. Suppose there is an Excel file and there are 10 tabs in the Excel file. So each user can update a particular tab to which they are supposed to make the changes, and they can make the changes simultaneously and save the file, right? And the file will be updated for all the changes made by all the 10 users in the 10 tabs at the same time. So 10 users can work on a particular file at the same time. Hence, it streamlines the collaboration of the team and saves the time as well. Because otherwise, in earlier time, what was happening? User A was making the change, closing the file, then user B was opening the file, making the change, then user C was opening the file and making the change, right? Now all the 10 people can make the changes at the same time. So that's the another benefit of the cloud computing. And the next is improved uh, reporting and analytics. Cloud-based accounting software often includes powerful reporting and analytics tool that allow businesses to gain deeper insights into their financial performance. This can help businesses make more informed decisions and identify areas for the improvement. So this is the another, feature of the cloud based. So they, quickly give you deeper insights in your data. They can quickly, formulate the trends or the pie charts or charts in the Excel with a single click, right? Or predefined charts which you want every time. Suppose 10 users are entering the sales data for their respective regions in the system on the cloud based web application. Now, once the 10 users are done with the reporting, and there are predefined charts or bar charts which needs to be constructed basis on the data entered by these 10 people, right? So that can be done in real time. As soon as the data entry is completed, pie charts are all there for all the 10 regions. Getting my point? So this is how they are speeding up the reporting and analytics part as well, because all the data in earlier times were first received by one person from the 10 users. Then this one person consolidate the data in a single Excel file and then develop the charts for the management or the CFO to present that this is the picture of the sales for the month, right? For 10 regions. Now, because 10 users are putting their data directly into the same file, that is getting consolidated by the cloud itself instead of one person earlier used to do that consolidation of the data. And as soon as the data entry is done, it is all consolidated in real time. All the charts which are predefined there are automatically developed there. So it is saving a lot of time and effort apart from giving a real time, insights into your data, which has been prepared. Getting my point? Any questions? So are you liking this cloud computing thing? So people who are in internship or auditing any of the big companies must have seen that these companies are already using all these applications which I have just mentioned, like Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft Teams, right? Microsoft OneDrive is basically, cloud storage where, all these data can be stored. So whatever we are discussing in this chapter, you must have been, experiencing that practically, and you just need to correlate this discussion with that practical application, and it is all in your blood already. So as such, there is nothing new which we are, studying today, which we think that how we will, do the catch up on these things. So this is just a correlation. You just need to bridge the gap between what you are already using with the literature of this chapter. That's it. And once you are able to bridge the gap and you can, correlate all the discussion with your practical life experiences, it is all with you everywhere. Even you don't need much, revision during the exam days. You will be able to write because you know the things. And from your examination purpose, because all these points are critical. So suppose if you get the question flashed in your question paper, like what are the applications of the cloud computing, then probably I suggest you, instead of writing your own answers, although I'm not saying those will be wrong, but try to use at least the headings given in this chapter, like cloud storage, software as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, right? So at least if you are able to recall all these headings, whatever given in your chapter, and then you can write, whatever you want to write based on your practical experience as well, that would be okay. but at least try to, make grip on the headings at least for all these theoretical questions, right? So if you are able to, at least recall these headings, it will be helpful. So for example, if the question comes up in the examination, say, what is the cloud computing? What are the benefits of the cloud computing? Say 10 marks, for example. Then cloud computing, anyway, the definition we have already studied. So that's, you just need to understand and write it down. And thereafter, benefits. So these are the benefits: improved accessibility, enhanced security, increased scalability, reduced cost, streamlined collaboration, improved reporting and analytics, right? So if you are able to write down, the correct headings with, even the literature of your own, it would be helpful. But if you write some XYZ other things, although they may not be completely wrong, but they will not be, the appropriate fit, as expected. So I suggest you to just make notes of these, headings at least, and just do 3-4 times revision so that you will be able to recall the correct headings. Okay. Now there are certain challenges as well in cloud computing. For example, prone to hackers, because now nothing is on your system, everything is on cloud, right? So if somebody is able to hack your credentials, he can access that cloud data by using your credentials. Suppose if you are not, maintaining good password, strong password, right? And hacker is able to crack your password, right? Now, whatever the data or files you have access to, he can simply, access those files. He can copy those files. He can delete your files or data over there in the cloud. And once the data is deleted in the cloud, right? So it is, hard to restore, right? So this is very much prone to hackers. So since cloud-based softwares are completely online, that is completely web-based, right? There is no software on your system, right? This is all web-based, right? For example, nowadays, you are filing your returns, income tax returns, on a web-based application on the portal itself. So what generally happens? So as soon as you log in on the income tax website, right, it gives you the option file online. As soon as you click on the file online, right, so it asks, do you want to fill up the data from the database of the income tax department? As soon as you click yes, your returns data automatically gets populated over there. You just need to verify, check, and make some edits and then submit. This is how the web-based application operates. Now you have not prepared anything on your system. Whatever the data is there all on the website, you have simply reviewed that and clicked OK, and your return is filed, right? So this is called web-based application. So income tax return site is also a web-based application where you are filing the returns, right? So because all these are happening completely online, right? There is no data on your personal laptop or desktop. All the data is on the web-based application itself. They could be prone to hackers who could steal the data or passwords or compromise the integrity of the processed data, thereby causing disruptions to the businesses, right? So if somebody is able to crack your password, he will be able to, do anything with your data. So that is the challenge or the risk in the cloud computing, right? And higher dependency on the strong internet. So suppose if I am operating from a remote area, suppose say where the net connection is not very good, then will I be able to open this web-based application? So probably no. And if I'm not able to open the web-based application, will I be able to do anything during my day? No, I will not be able to do anything unless and until there is a strong internet connection. So this is another challenge, in using the cloud computing software, web-based applications or technologies for our day-to-day work. So if we do not have the strong internet connection, or by any chance our internet connection is not working on a particular day, then we will not be able to do anything on this. So this is the another, challenge. So a strong internet connectivity is a must for the cloud computing to be the success. Connectivity in non-metros, tier 2, tier 3 cities is not well developed even today, which could create accessibility issues to the users of the cloud-based accounting software working from these cities, right? So this is the challenge for the business companies. Suppose if they are hiring people, now earlier they used to hire the people from their locations only. For example, if the company's office is in Mumbai, they generally hire the people in Mumbai. But now with the advent of this cloud computing technology, companies can hire the people from the Jaipur, from the Chennai, from Bangalore, or even from remote areas or some remote villages as well, right? So if internet connection is the issue there, then that person will not be able to work from the remote area. So that would be the challenge for the organization, right? Although this challenge is getting addressed as we are migrating from 2G to 3G to 4G and 5G now. So a strong internet connection will not be an issue 2 3 years down the line as such. Correct. Mansha has already mentioned that it hurts the integrity of the data. Correct. So it will hurt the integrity only if, you know, your passwords or your credentials are compromised. Correct. Okay. Anything anybody wants to highlight or ask or add? If by any chance somebody knows something which he wants to share with the group, I'm happy. You just ping me in the chat box and I will be able to take it up from there. Okay. Nothing. Okay. Now we will talk about ERP. So it's 8:32. I think you would be looking for a break, and I'm continuously speaking for last 1.5 hours. So let's have 10 minutes break. It's 8:30, so we will be back by 8:40. Okay. So break starts now. And then just confirm me in the chat box so that we can resume the session. So break is over now. Are you confirming me in the chat box if you are all back? Okay, Abdul. Thanks for the confirmation. Okay. So next we will talk about the ERP. So as we have, previously discussed that ERP means enterprise resource planning. Okay. So, an enterprise would be using the ERP, for managing all the day-to-day business activities. For example, procurement, like purchases, then project management, accounting, risk management, compliance, and supply chain operations, right? So all these modules, are integrated together to form an ERP, right? For example, there is an inventory module which takes care of all the inventory movements. So whenever the purchases are made, so all those purchases, are managed through ERP. Then whenever the sales are happening, sales are also, routing through the ERP as and when we record the sales transactions, right? The corresponding accounting journal entries are also being, done by the ERP in the books of accounts, right? And similarly for fixed assets. So whenever there are any additions or deletions to the fixed asset register, so the fixed asset module, takes care of all those changes happening over the period, and it automatically, picks up the corresponding accounting entry as well for those additions, deletions, basis on the data, feed it into those modules. So when all these modules are put together, so the group of these different modules handling, different day-to-day activity of the business constitute a ERP. So ERP is basically the collection of all these modules responsible for different business activities. Correct. So this is basically the ERP look like. And because this is all done by a software, so ERP is a type of software only, right? ERP system connects and correlates a multitude of the business processes and enable the flow of the data between them. It collects an organization's shared transactional data from the multiple sources and thus eliminate the data duplication and provide the data integrity with a single source of authentication. Okay. So basically, as I just mentioned, so ERP is basically a collection of different modules responsible for handling different business processes, right? It may have a cash module, it may have a bank module. So bank module will be responsible for, doing all the bank reconciliations and coming up with the exception report. Cash module is responsible for, recording all the cash transactions. Inventory module is, handling all the, inventory, purchase and, issued from the stores, right? Sales module is, maintaining the data for all the debtors, right? To whom the sales have been made on a credit basis, right? All these stuff. And then GST module would be responsible for, preparing the GST returns, right? basis on the sales and purchase entries, happened in these other modules. Then uh, fixed asset module will be taking care of all the fixed assets. So all these modules, are integrated together to talk to each other. And finally, whatever the data is there, which is, eliminating all the duplication, and hence, presenting a uh, same set of data to all the users of the financials. So this is how ERP is operating in the background, right? So ERP systems are designed around a single defined data structure schema that typically has a common database, right? So database is the common where all the users responsible for different business processes and activities are entering, the data on a daily basis as and when any of the movements or the transactions are happening for their respective business activities, right? This helps to ensure that information used across the enterprise is, normalized and based on common definitions and the user experience. These core constructs are then interconnected with business processes driven by the workflows across business departments. For example, finance, human resource, engineering, marketing, and operations, and connecting systems and the people who use them, right? So suppose inventory module is taking care of all the inventory records updations. Sales is taking care of all the sales being done by the stores or the outlets of the company at the which various locations. Now, if one of the outlet of the company headquartered in Mumbai, say, is in Chennai. Now, at the Chennai store, because as and when the Chennai store makes the sales and it punches, the sales in the ERP. So that ERP, is all interconnected with head office and other branches too. So whenever the different locations, sales stores are punching the sales, so ERP database, which is a common database, is getting updated for all those outlets, spread across the country or spread across the globe as well, for that matter. And single streamlined database, facilitating the sales report to be real time available for all the users of the ERP at any given point in time, right? Suppose if I am sitting in the accounts department in the head's office, I extract the sales report at the end of the day. Then that sales report will give the sales recorded by all the locations during the day, right? So this is the benefit of the ERP, that it is an integrated set of, all the data, and database is the common database through which the reports are being extracted by different users, and it ensures that data extracted by different users at different locations will be the same data rather than different data. So data integrity is ensured by the ERP, right? So one of the example is SAP, as I have already, discussed earlier. So SAP is one of the ERP, various companies are, using. CBS, core banking system, is the ERP for the bankings. So all the banks, I will not say all the banks, but most of the banks are using the CBS, core banking system, right? Navision is the name of another ERP software, which is also being used by banks and the NBFCs or the loan giving, companies, the companies who are in the business of giving loans, right? So non-banking financial companies, banks, all these institutions, use the CBS and similar other ERPs available. Apart from that, Microsoft Office 360 is the another ERP, right? Then many companies are using Tally as well. So Tally, I will not say is a full-fledged ERP, but at least it fulfills, the purpose of small organizations. To that extent, it can also be said to be an ERP from that sense, right? Since data is the lifeblood of the modern company, ERP makes it easier to collect, organize, analyze, and distribute this data and information to every individual and the system that needs it to best fulfill their role and responsibility. So, like I mentioned, any sales store, as and when it closes the day and it completes the sales, then it gets reflected into the ERP, and people sitting at the head office can extract the sales report for a particular store or for a particular region or for a particular state, and even for that matter for a particular country as well, or for the organization as a whole, right? So the data, is updated in the ERP on a real time basis, right? ERP also ensures that these data fields and attributes roll up to the correct account in the company's general ledger, so that all costs are properly tracked and represented, right? So all general ledger codes, typically GL code, which we used to, say, are being standardized. So any GL code, say for expenses pertaining to say marketing expense, now that particular marketing expense GL will be used by all the branches or all the stores for hitting on any expense recording which they have incurred on their branches or on those stores. So since they are all entering the expense into that GL only, so that GL consolidates, the overall marketing expense for the organization as a whole, coming up from different branches and different locations, right? So and it roll up to the correct account in the trial balance, right? So this is how ERP facilitates the recording of the data at the ground level and consolidating that data and then fetching the information basis on that data to the users of the ERP, right? On a consolidated basis. EERP principle is the central collection of the data for the wide distribution, right? So banks may have different branches in different cities, in different states, and same goes for other companies like departmental chains. They have different departmental stores at various locations. So key principle of the ERP is that they have the central database, central collection of the database data, right, from wide distributions. With a secure and centralized data repository, everyone in the organization can be confident that data is correct, up to date, and complete, right? Because everybody is using the same ERP. So they are punching the data in the same ERP. So anybody retrieving that data can be confident about this, that whatever the data is punched by different locations, different branches from different locations, right, is all updated and correct and complete, right? Data integrity is assured for every task performed throughout the organization, from a quarterly financial statement to a single outstanding receivable report, right? So we can extract the outstanding debtor list. Then we can give the command to the ERP, okay, show me up the debtors basis on the branches. So which branch is having more debtors, which branch is having less debtors. Then basis on that, I will get into the deeper insights. Okay, these are the top 10 branches showing up more receivables. Let's get into deep dive the aging of these debtors for these 10 branches only out of the 1,000 branches, right? So this is how, ERP helps an organization to, see the drilling down of the data to the extent they want to. Nowadays, ERPs are used by many organizations as it is critical for managing thousands of businesses of the varied sizes covering all industries. Cloud-based ERP applications are embedded with next generation technologies such as AI and ML, machine learning, and digital assistants like bots, Alexa, etc. Right? So earlier ERP were the complete programmed ERP softwares which we usually install on our system, right? Now they have migrated from the installation on a system to a web-based ERP, and now those web-based ERP again, taking or embedding the next level technologies like AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So all these technologies are also getting embedded into the ERP to facilitate the information faster, accurate, and reliable. So this is how technology advancements are taking place day by day in our accounting field and reporting field. Now, what are the benefits of the ERP an organization gets if they use? So improved business insight from a real-time information generated by the reports, right? So information is a real-time information. Hence, nobody needs to consolidate the data and spend unnecessary time in consolidating the data and then coming up with the sales figure for the review of the management. So as soon as the day closes by the branches, say 6 p.m. is the cutoff, for example, then as soon as the 6 p.m. cutoff is done, all the data, modules gets freeze. Nobody now can do any edits or changes in the data. and within a fraction of second, all the data gets consolidated, and any sales report or purchase report or cash, report I can generate sitting at the head office for all the branches taken together. And I can develop the trends or, charts or patterns as well basis on that data, right? For the management review. Less operational cost through streamlined business processes and best practices, of course, because otherwise it would be, if there was no ERP, then it would be done manually, and it will take time, and it will incur a lot of additional cost as well, and it will take a week or so for coming up with the final sales figure for a particular day, right? Enhanced collaboration of the users, sharing the data in contracts, requisitions, and purchase orders. So collaboration is also increased through ERP. So let me take an example here. Suppose purchase department wants to purchase particular raw material, right? Now, when there was no ERP, how that transaction happens? So purchase department prepared a manual slip called as purchase requisition receipt. It manually enters the name of the item, feature or configuration of the item, then quantity, how much it needs to be ordered, and signs it and submit it to the purchase manager. Okay. Then purchase manager reviews this and approves. Then it submits to the say next level approver that this is the purchase requirement. Then that next level approver receives that physical slip and sees this is a purchase requirement, approves it, and asks the PO team to raise the PO purchase order, right? Then PO team prepares the PO manually, right? And then they send the PO by courier to the supplier, right, of that raw material, and asking the quotations, right, over the call. Okay, what are the quotations, or probably over the email if they can email it, right? So the process was taking so much time to uh, for getting these purchase done, right? Then once PO was raised, PO was approved, and then order is placed, then the supply will be received, and then the same process, the GRN will be done manually. Then after the GRN, invoice will be entered and submitted to the accounts department. They will be making the entry of the purchase, then getting the entry approved from their boss over the piece of paper, and by taking out the printout of the voucher, right? That voucher is getting signed by the preparer, reviewer, and approver, and then that entry gets posted into the system. So it takes at least a day, 2 day, or 3 day time to record a particular transaction and to reflect it into the system, right? Now, with the usage of ERP, what is happening now? There are workflows defined in the system itself. So I just need to create a purchase request, right, within the ERP module, purchase requisition module. And as soon as I submit it, it automatically gives a notification on my boss's network that you have a pending request approval for a purchase requisition. He simply clicks on that, reads it, approve it. It goes to the next person, and along with the notification, then he sees it, approves it, and it goes to the supplier by creating a PO automatically for that, right? Then as soon as the supplier receives the PO, he's supposed to submit the quotations as well. Quotations are also being submitted online. I will see it, approve it, and it will place the order to the supplier, right? And once the order is placed, material will be received at the factory. Then factory gatekeeper, again using the same ERP, will do the online GRN, okay, within the ERP. And as soon as the GRN is done, invoice details are punched in, it will be reflected to the person sitting in the accounts department in the real time with a notification that this GRN has just happened, please approve. As soon as he sees the GRN matches the three-way match, that quantity, amount, etc., all things are matching as per the purchase requisition and as per the GRN and as per the supplier invoice, and it approves, entry gets automatically posted in the ERP, right? And once entry is automatically getting prepared and submitted by the preparer, it automatically reflects in the window of the approver or the reviewer. For example, say CFO. As soon as CFO sees the requisition request has came for approval of the JE, he simply clicks approve, and it gets posted, reflected in the trial balance. So this ERP is now making this entire manual process streamlined and automated, right? and there is no manual paper is being required to be moved from one person to another and to another, right? It is all happening through a workflow module sitting within the ERP now, right? And it has a complete audit trail as well. At what date, what time, a particular person has initiated, particular person has approved. So all these timestamps are also being done on the workflow by itself, right? There is a proper audit trail as well available. So this is all benefit of the ERP. Better efficiency through common user experience across many business functions and well-defined business processes. So, like I take an example of purchase requisition, similar thing would have happened for opening a new bank account by the organization, right? Because it also required different approvals, board of director approval, whatever. So we have already defined a approval matrix in our ERP. As and when a particular requisition is submitted, it automatically goes to the defined approver, right? So if an organization wants to open a new bank account, so then Treasury Department will raise the request that we need a bank account, new bank account for this purpose. That requisition gets automatically, into the bucket of the reviewer or approver, whoever is responsible by the organization for that very request, right? So all these workflows are being taken care by the ERP itself, rather than I am asking my peon that go to the boss and get it approved, right? And now he's going to the boss. Boss is not in the cabin. He is in somewhere in the meeting, right? Or he is absent on a particular day. So once he comes back, then only the things can be done. Now with the advent of ERP applications are, in some cases are also can be used via mobile. So I get the notification on my mobile as well, even if I'm traveling or, sitting somewhere else. So I can approve it via mobile as well. So at least work is not hampered. So this is how ERP is, facilitating all these workflows or processes of the organization and making them more streamlined and more real time, right? Bringing up efficiencies. Consistent infrastructure from the back office to the front office. So back office and front office are, linked together now. So whatever is happening in the front office is automatically reflecting in the back office, right? As soon as the sales department or the branch punches any entry, sales entry into their ERP, it automatically reflects in the back office at the head office within the ERP, and automatically is, getting approved. Increased user adoption rates from a common user experience and design, because ERP, is standardized. So, it is easy for the people to use the ERP because they are all giving the same user experience to all the users. So if I'm new to a particular organization, I can, learn the ERP by, discussing the things to do. My colleagues are doing already. So I can simply go and ask my colleagues how you are doing it and just show it to me once. He will show it to me, and next day I will be able to do it. As and when I join the organization and I do not know the ERP, because ERP is standardized, right? Reduction in the risk through improved data integrity and the financial controls. So there is a data which is not being biased now within the ERP. So all the data is updated on a real-time basis, based on the different users entry. So all the same data is available to everybody at a single click. So it increases the integrity of the data, and less management and operational cost through uniform and integrated systems, because it is saving the time and effort on the part of human. So anyway, cost will anyway be saved, right? So these are, the benefits of the ERP given in your study material, right? There could be many more you can think through. You can add on to that. This is not a complete or comprehensive list. This is just, illustrative list of the uh, most relevant benefits of the ERP, right? Any questions? Yes. So Mansha is saying CRM part of ERP, correct? Okay. So I hope the topic is interesting, although it is completely theoretical. Now you don't need to, understand as such any accounting or perform any calculations or see what the complexity is there. But at least because you are using lots of applications on your mobile phones on day-to-day basis, now you are just able to correlate it, right? How these technologies tools helping the accounting world or accounting professionals, correct? So that is all the intention of this chapter, to just know. Okay, the next topic is cyber security in accounting. Right now, as we are leveraging more technology and tools and software, web-based applications, cloud-based storage, now the key risk in using all these things is the cyber frauds, hacking of the data, confidentiality, right? All these things. So how the cyber security is crucial thing, in accounting world. So let's have a quick look at that as well. So protecting financial information is crucial to prevent unauthorized access and data breaches. Correct? Because if any organization's data is uh, compromised, then it is very harmful for that organization, right? For example, if any organization's records are being compromised, somebody has gained access over the financial data of the organization, then it is very harmful for that organization in terms of compliances as well as confidentiality. So legal and regulatory frameworks are also there around. For example, Information Technology Act 2000, which was amended in 2008, govern the laws around collection, storage, and transmission of the financial data. So there are certain aspects which are dealt by Information Technology Act 2000. So whenever the organizations are doing any businesses, they need to comply with all the laws and bylaws applicable to them. One of the law is Information Technology Act 2000 as well. So every organization need to be complied with Information Technology Act 2000 requirements as well, which talks about general things about the collection, storage, transmission of the financial data. So non-compliance, if any organization does with the data protection laws, can lead to financial penalties and reputational damage. So financial penalty will anyway will be there, but there will be a reputational damage. So for example, few years back, we have heard the news that ICICI Bank website got hacked. Now the people who are the customers of the ICICI Bank will become worried. Suppose if this instance gets repeated twice or thrice, then it will indicate to the customers that ICICI Bank system is not safe, right? That is the notion we will develop. What will be the action point then? These customers who have the good balances with the ICICI Bank, right? So they will start migrating their account from the ICICI Bank. So that is called the reputational damage. So once an organization ERPs or systems are compromised or hacked, and the news gets into the public domain, then it is reputational damage. And going forward, there would be suppliers or customers which earlier were associated with the organization will try to avoid to do the business with the organization, right? Organizations have legal and ethical obligations to disclose cybersecurity incidents with financial implications. So sometimes, if there is any cyber attack has happened during the year, so there is an ethical obligation as well as, legal obligation that you need to disclose cybersecurity incidents that have happened during the year and their materiality or significance. And if that was material, then probably additional disclosures might get triggered, right? So this is the another aspect. Then cybersecurity incidents can affect financial reporting through financial losses, reputational damage, and legal consequences as well, right? So if any of the data is, compromised, then probably if it was a database for a particular customer, right, high net worth HNI customer, then that HNI customer can file a case as well against the bank that why you have not, why you were not able to, maintain my data confidentiality, right? So there could be a legal case as well, legal consequences as well on any organization by any of the third parties because of this, hacking or cybersecurity risk. So these are all aspects which, are affecting, us as a finance professional. Reporting guidelines of various regulators such as SEBI, RBI, etc., address some disclosure requirements as well around cybersecurity incidents in the financial statements. For example, RBI has a clear-cut, detailed guidance on what are the disclosures required if bank experience any cybersecurity incidents during the period, right? So they need to report that incident to RBI separately within a few days window of the incident happened, and how the management has, uh, uh, action on that, what the resolution or measures taken by the management, and what is the backup plan. So all these, incident reporting has to happen to the RBI by the banks as and when there are data breaches, right, within a particular window. And if, organization defaults on that incident reporting to RBI, then there are some penalties. In some cases, license can also be cancelled, which will, anywhere uh, end to the business of the particular organization, right? So there are serious consequences as well around this, because this is very crucial matter which we need to take care. Now, common cyber security threats. For example, phishing attacks. So sometimes, as if I correlate it to your daily life, sometimes you receive some WhatsApp messages and general messages as well, containing some links. And, as soon as you click on those links, your mobile gets hacked. Yes or no? You might not have experienced it personally, but you might have heard, or received those messages at least, although you might not have clicked them, but, you must have seen them, right? So this is how these malicious links, tricks the users into clicking them, and then catching the database to their mobile, and, their data of the mobile is compromised. In some cases, you are not even able to use your mobile. They take the control of your mobile as well, right? Sometimes it happens. So these are called phishing attacks, right? Then malware attacks. So malware attacks involve infecting computers or the network with malicious software that can steal data or disrupt operations. So what will happen? You might have downloaded something on your computer or on your mobile, and that download, while it was happening, some other things also getting downloaded in the background, which you are not aware of. Once it is downloaded, it will, start taking the data from your mobile or system and sending it to the, hacker. And your laptop or mobile will operate normally. You will not be able to see any, sign on your laptop or mobile, but your data is compromised, right? So sometimes these things also happens. These are called malware attacks. Then ransomware attacks. So ransomware attacks involve encrypting files or locking users out of the system and demanding a ransom payment in exchange for restoring the access, which has happened some time back with the AIMS, All India Medical. So some group of hackers, hacked the AIMS ERP completely. So AIMS was not able to access to their ERP. None of the users in the AIMS was able to access, right? And they have asked 200 crore from the AIMS for that. And it took 3-4 days for the AIMS team to, get back the ERP with them. So they have hacked the complete ERP of the AIMS. So this is called a ransomware attack, where, hackers attack and ask for ransom payment by for retrieving the access, right? Insider threats. Insider threats involve malicious action by the employees or the other insiders who already have the access to the sensitive data. So sometimes it happens because you are working in a company whose share is already listed on the stock exchange. And since you are working in the accounting team, you might have a visibility around the results, quarterly results of the company before they are published. So what you can do, you can simply click on the pictures of those result page and share it with your friends or, other people over the WhatsApp or over the emails, right? So this is called insider threat. So where people sitting within the organization, like employees or other people who have access to the sensitive information or data of the company, can, share that sensitive data or information with third parties. So this is called insider threats. Denial of service attacks, DOS attacks. involve overwhelming a system or network with traffic to disrupt the operations. So what is the type of attack this is? So what it does, it doesn't take the control of your system or mobile, right? Your control is with you only. But what it will do, it will utilize your CPU so much that your CPU will be overwhelmed, and it will not be able to perform the task which you are trying to perform on your mobile or laptop, right? So your CPU is compromised basically, right? So there it will all will be looking like that system is, is still in some process or progress. There will be a lot of traffic, and your normal operations will be disrupted. You will not be able to perform anything on your system, although you are able to access your ERP. So in this case you are not able to access your ERP. In this case you are able to access your system and laptops or mobiles, but you are not getting the things done when you give any command to the system, because your system CPU is so much overwhelmed by the hackers, right? Supply chain attacks involve compromising third-party software or hardware to gain access a system or network. So supply chain attacks, sometimes, organization does the purchase and sales with other business houses. So they have integrated their ERPs with other business ERPs through some API integration, right? Application based integration. So hackers, instead of hacking your ERP, hack that integration, and they are able to gain access to the flow of the transactions happening between the two companies. So this is the another category of the hacking, right? So all these are common cyber security threats which are observed very frequently in our day-to-day lives. Correct? I hope you are able to correlate all of these. You must have seen, heard in news or through your friends somewhere at the some place, right? So Suraj is saying this is like reading EIS all over again. Sorry, what is EIS? I'm not able to get it. Mansha is saying nowadays the government is thinking about regulating the artificial intelligence, probably. Denial of service we often find on result day at ICAI website. I will not comment about it. Denial of service. But the good example, you are able to correlate at least to understand the concept to that extent. And Tanisha is saying, fine, okay. Phishing and ransom are very famous. Correct. So phishing and ransom, yes, both are very famous. So we, generally daily receive at least a single message, either on the WhatsApp or in our normal message, containing some links with a message that click on that link, you will get this or that, right? So this is called phishing attacks. Okay. Now, because there are certain risks, so there need to be certain proactive measures which we need to take in order to mitigate the cyber security risk, right? So there are certain proactive measures as well given in your, chapter. What are those? Password management. What password management means? Because we are the accounting professionals, we are, doing, handling the confidential data for an organization. So ideally, it is our ethical responsibility that we, use some strong passwords, right? Rather than to use the simple passwords, because this is not our data, and why we need to care about it. Let's use a very simple password, and so that we can, easily remember, right? So we shouldn't be, doing that. We should use some strong passwords, and we also should change them regularly. Suppose you can take a frequency of month. So every month you need to change your passwords, so that, by any chance, if anybody was able to try to, understand or, trying to track the password you are using for quite some time. So if you are changing it frequently, so it will be, additional protection from your side for the benefit of the organization. So as a accounting or finance professionals, or as a chartered accountants, we should understand the importance of password management, because that is not in the hands of the organization. That is all in our own hands. we need to choose the password we want to use. This should contain some, alphabet, numericals, and special characters so that it becomes strong and, it is not uh, easily crackable, right? So that is our ethical and moral responsibility as well. Then encryption. Encryption can be used to protect sensitive data during transmission and storage. The IT team of the organization should ensure that sensitive data is encrypted using appropriate methods. Now, anyway, encryption we cannot ensure. We are accounting and finance professionals. We do not know how the encryption needs to be done for a particular data. But if some data is sensitive, which we are trying to share, with other users, then probably we should, ask some IT team person in the organization that, boss, this is the sensitive information or data. Uh, Please tell us how that can be encrypted, or if you can encrypt this data before we share that data. So generally nowadays IT team has already developed some encryption tools, so you can use that as well, and before sharing the data. So they have developed some softwares through which you can encrypt the file, and once the file is encrypted, you can send it across to the other user, right, over the email. Access controls. Access control is critical for preventing unauthorized access to the financial data. Accounting professionals should ensure that access to the sensitive data is limited to the authorized personnel and appropriate access controls are in place. So suppose if I'm the CFO of the company, then I need to ensure that who all two, three, four people should have access to a particular data, right? Suppose if I'm keeping the financial statements of the company or financial results or some crucial management reporting at a particular drive, then those drives can also be password protected. And those credentials can be given to only one or two people who actually are required to use that data or information rather than giving it to all of the employees within the organization, right? So these access controls also I need to manage, right? So this is the decision which management needs to make. They need to lay out a proper hierarchy or chart out proper roles and responsibilities of the employees, and accordingly give the access to those employees for only for that limited portion for which they are responsible for. For example, if there is a team who is basically responsible for fixed asset management, right? So whenever the additions and deletions are happen to the fixed assets, they are ensuring that is done in the ERP. So they should have access to the ERP with a limited access to that fixed asset module itself, rather than access to all the modules, say inventory module, sales module, cash module, bank module. So we can create a access limited to that module for which the employee has been hired by the organization. Sales team will have the access to the sales module. Bank treasury team will have the access to the investment or banking module within the ERP, right? Because there are different modules. So accesses needs to be managed accordingly rather than giving a blanket access to everybody for everything, right? So this is another proactive measure which we can take, to control cyber security risk. Network security. Network security is critical for protecting financial data from the cyber attacks. It should be ensured that firewalls and other security measures are in place to prevent unauthorized access to the network. So anyway, in our practical life, we will not be responsible for, having network security in place, but we should be knowing this, that network security, what does network security means and how it is done by the IT team. So anyway, IT team will be responsible for, purchasing the relevant firewall softwares. For example, McAfee. McAfee is one of the software which, takes care of this firewall and, provides the safety to the network security, right? So which software needs to be, purchased, downloaded and implemented. That is all the decision taken to be taken by the IT head of the company, right? Employees training. Employees training is critical for ensuring that staff members are aware of the importance of the cybersecurity and understand how to protect the sensitive financial data. For example, if employees are not aware about that, they need to create a strong password and change them frequently, then definitely some of the employees will not be doing that, and hence leading up to the risk of, cybersecurity threat. So as soon as employee joins the organization, he should be, informed about minimum to do's and don't do's at least. You must have seen that, lots of MNCs and now the other companies as well, carrying out 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, or 1 week induction programs, right? So as and when any employee joins in the organization for first 2 days or 3 days or a week, he is not supposed to do any work in the organization except for attending induction programs. In those induction programs, those employees are clearly told about the organization vision, then organization's future plans, which he should be aware of, not the management plans, but what is the vision of the organization, what the company does, what is the business of the company, what are the various processes and systems and ERPs company is using, and what are the do's and don't do's for the employees within the organization, right? What is the leave policy? So all these informations, are passed on to those new joiner employees through those induction programs immediately after their joining. So in those induction training programs, if they are already scheduled, IT head should ensure that there is a topic on, cybersecurity mitigation risk as well, so that employees are aware what they need to do in order to prevent, any cybersecurity risk. Data backup. So regular data backup anyway, organizations are doing this. So they do generally carry out a daily data backup. Say they have already instructed or designed a program within the ERP that at the night, say 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. in the night or in the early morning, ERP, blocks all the users to, access to the ERP. And for 1 hour, it will be taking up the complete backup of the day, right? And that backup will be saved somewhere at the drive. And say for last 30 days, the backup will be saved, or for last 60 days, data backup will be saved, right? At some different location. So that if by any chance some my cybersecurity attacks happens, at least we will be able to retrieve the data for the latest backup we have taken, right? So regular data backup is another item or another area where, companies should focus upon, so that data is not lost in the cyber attack, right? And incident response planning. So there should be proper plan charted out and laid out by the management, that when the incident will be reported, how the incident will be reported, how that will be, addressed, what measures the organization needs to take as and when there is cyber attack noticed, right? So all these planning should have been done in advance. Backup plan should have been designed in advance, and what are the actions IT team need to take, those are already should be in place. So these are basically some of the proactive measures which any or every organization should think about when they are using any of the ERPs or any of the web-based applications, whatever technology they are using for their business operations as well as accounting and reporting, right? Clear? Please confirm at least. Okay. So Suraj is saying enterprise information system is enters, for example, ICAI may use some encryption for the exam papers before the exam starts, right? Some encryption for the exam papers. So you are talking about the online examination, correct? So that exam paper cannot be leaked, right? Kaushik is saying external hard drive is used for backups. Correct. So altogether there is a different server, on which backup is being maintained. So that if by any chance the main server gets attacked by some hackers, or hard disk of the server is crashed, or anything happens to that server, so we can retrieve the data from the another server or hard disk. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. Yes, segregation of duties. That's what now I told. So inventory team should have access to the inventory module. Fixed asset team should have the access to the fixed asset module. Uh, uh, Treasury team should have access to the banking and investment module. Sales team should have the access to the sales module. This is all segregation, right? So segregation of duties and access controls go both hand in hand, right, Mansha? Okay. Now, the last topic of the day is the future of the technology in accounting. So as we know, some advancements are happening on a day by day. So what is there in the future which will be upcoming in the accounting world? So one of the item is blockchain. Blockchain. What do you mean by blockchain? So you must have heard about bitcoins, right? Some time back during COVID times or before that as well. In somewhere in 2017, 18, Bitcoin started, becoming popular among the masses for investment. And, the concept behind was that it is, based on a blockchain technology, and hence it will, eliminate the risk of, uh, other digital currency because it maintains the real time records, etc., etc., etc. So Bitcoin, was being bought massively by many of the investors, and Bitcoin uh, price, started increasing, and it's touched the sky high prices, right? Somewhere in 2018. Then thereafter, people realize it is nothing but, it will not be used because governments are not, taking seriously the blockchain technology. Then the Bitcoin price started falling. Then other similar, coins started popping up in the world. And then those companies went bankrupt as well, right? So all these things started happening somewhere in 2016, 17, 18, 19, and then in last year 2022 and current year 2023, few of those currencies, just came back to the ground level prices. So all that ups and downs were happening because of this underlying blockchain new technology, which nobody actually understood, right, at that time, or even for that matter today. But whenever any new technology, starts coming in, so it gets improvised day by day, right? So somewhere sooner or the later, it is expected that blockchain will be the new technology which will be, widely used for various operations, right? So let's see what is the blockchain technology means. So blockchain is the decentralized and transparent ledger that enables secure and immutable transactions, right? So basically, instead of centralizing anything, so blockchain term is using the word decentralized and transparent ledger, right? So what happens whenever any transaction happens in the block through the blockchain technology, it is recorded in real time as and when it is happening, and it is affecting the ledger of the both parties at both parties accounts. So suppose if I am sending money to somebody, then my account will be reduced, his account will be increased by those amounts, and it will happen in real time, so that my and his accounts are updated on a very same time, right? So this is a decentralized technology, and using the transparent ledger, mechanics for, recording all these transactions. So unlike traditional centralized systems, blockchain offers distributed network where information is shared and verified by multiple participants, eliminating the need for intermediaries and enhancing data integrity, right? So anyway, we don't need to, understand the blockchain in much detail. The only thing is we need to understand that this is the new technology, how it is operating, and in what applications or areas it will be, getting implemented sooner. And at least from our financial statement preparation and reporting purpose, what is the implication of the blockchain technology? That's it. We don't need to be expert in the blockchain. Anyway, we are not going into the job of, IT professional for the blockchain technology. So from the financial statement preparation perspective, blockchain holds immense potential to streamline the processes, enhance transparency, and improve the accuracy and reliability of the financial reporting. Right. So anyway, since the start of this session, so anyway, whenever the technology is coming in, so whatever the advantages are, streamlining the processes, increasing the transparency, improving the accuracy, improving the effectiveness, reliability. All these are more or less common, right? They were common for the artificial intelligence. They were common for the ERP. They were common for the automation. So they will continue to be common. It is just a matter of fact that the next level, next generation technology will be more advanced as compared to the previous generation technology, right? That's the only difference broadly I will be able to make out. Now, what are the key impacts of the blockchain on the financial reporting? So, enhanced transparency. Number one, improved data integrity. Number two, streamlined audit processes, enhanced security, right? Simplified reconciliation, cost reduction, enhanced audit trail, and real-time financial reporting. So now you are well versed that more or less, these are the uh, impacts of any technology as and when they come. And then when the next technology comes, that technology comes with some value add, on same lines. So enhanced transparency. What does that mean? Blockchain technology provides decentralized ledger. So always just use the word decentralized whenever you are talking about blockchain in your examination. And immutable ledger, where the transactions are recorded and stored in the transparent and tamper-proof manner, right? So these transactions cannot be tampered. That's what the expectation is from the blockchain technology. And that is the blockchain technology is claiming as of now. I am not sure whether this claim will survive up to 100% or not. That the future will only tell once these technologies are, used for accounting and recording purposes. But that's what the claim is, that blockchain technology, will be a tamper proof. This increased transparency ensures that financial data is accurately captured and can easily be audited, promoting trust and reliability in the financial reporting, right? So one of the benefit or impact of the blockchain on the financial reporting is enhance or increase transparency by using the decentralized and immutable ledger method, right? So this is the keyword here. Then next is improved data integrity. What does that mean? Sorry. So blockchain's distributed ledger ensures that each transaction is verified and encrypted, preventing unauthorized modifications or tampering. This feature enhances data integrity, reducing the risk of fraudulent activities or errors in the financial reporting. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have heard the news that there are people who understands the blockchain technology, and those people are so highly paid because they understand the blockchain technology, and they can only, approve the transaction in the blockchain technology by doing some, coding or encryption on that data. Hence, they are so much highly paid. Even few of the companies have started, blockchain, assisting in the blockchain data encryption. So those data encryption can be done by those software engineers who understands this blockchain technology, and those are super costly engineers, right, for any organization to have on. If you have ever heard that news, and there are not many people who actually are doing the blockchain encryption. So this technology results in improved data integrity as compared to other softwares which we have talked about earlier. So every software is claiming that data integrity will be improved, but as and when we migrate from one software to another and to another in the future, of course, the next new generation software will be more advanced, right? So all these technologies will be giving you the same benefit, more or less, but with a increased level of, increased integrity. Third is streamlining the audit processes. Blockchain technology enables real-time access to the financial data, eliminating the need for time-consuming and manual data reconciliation processes. Auditors can directly access the blockchain ledger to verify the transactions, reducing the audit time and enhancing efficiency in the financial reporting. So practically, I am not seen blockchain technology is being used in the audit process at present. At least I haven't seen it, even if that is happening somewhere in the world. But if that happens, because it is operating on a decentralized ledger technology, decentralized, right? Which is increasing the transparency. Hence, the audit process is also streamlined because auditors can also, access those ledgers and verify the transactions in real time as and when they are taking place. Enhanced security. Blockchain incorporates advanced cryptographic algorithms. So just, please highlight or note down these keywords for your examination purpose at least, because if you write these keywords, then you will certainly get good marks rather than writing some general language or general answer, right? Which we usually do every time. So blockchain incorporates advanced cryptographic algorithms, making it highly secure against unauthorized access or data breaches. So what advanced cryptographic algorithms are? Do we need to understand? I don't think so. If you are curious enough, you can do Google, understand a bit so that you get to know it better and you will be able to recall if there is a question on the blockchain. And you can probably add on one or two line on that as well. That will, show that you know the subject in more detail. But at least try to use these keywords which are very, very specific to the blockchain, like decentralized ledger, immutable ledger, advanced cryptographic algorithms, right? For, ensuring the data security. So financial data stored on the blockchain is encrypted and protected, minimizing the risk of data manipulation or unauthorized disclosure, thus strengthening the security of the financial reporting. So rest all is general discussion. The keyword is blockchain technology uses advanced cryptographic algorithms, which ensures that data is highly and properly encrypted so that minimizing the risk of data manipulation or unauthorized access to the data, right? So that is what the blockchain is doing. Now, simplified reconciliation. Blockchain decentralized ledger eliminates the need for reconciling multiple versions of the data across different systems. With a single shared source of truth, financial reporting processes become more streamlined, reducing reconciliation effort and potential errors. So what the blockchain will be doing, because the ledgers are now decentralized, so there is no as such need to reconcile multiple versions because there is same ledger. So there are no multiple ledgers, right? There is a same ledger and the same ledger needs no reconciliation to, something else, right? So that's what a blockchain is offering. Cost reduction. By eliminating intermediaries and central authorities, blockchain reduces the cost associated with traditional financial reporting processes. It eliminates the need for third-party verification and reconciliation, leading to the cost saving. Since blockchain is using decentralized and immutable ledger technology, hence no reconciliations are actually required to perform. Hence, there will be a cost saving as well, because earlier people were used to do some reconciliations with the third party, right? Suppose in entity A is selling the goods to entity B. So entity A at the end of the 31st March will have a debtor balance and entity B will have a credit balance, right? Now both the parties exchanges their statement with each other so that both the companies can reconcile their transactions during the year. And if they are noticing any differences, then they can talk to each other and reconcile and adjust their balances accordingly, right? This is the exercise generally being performed by the entities in today's world. Now, what blockchain will be doing, blockchain is saying that because there will be a single ledger, so now party A and party B will not be maintaining two different ledgers in their separate books of accounts because both parties are using blockchain technology. So blockchain technology will be giving them access to a single streamlined ledger. So same ledger will give a debit balance to the company A and a credit balance to the company B. That's what the blockchain will be addressing. Hence, no reconciliation will be required. Hence, it will be saving the cost on the part of both the companies, right? There is no third party verification or reconciliation is required as such in that case. That is what blockchain technology will be doing. Now, enhanced audit trail. Blockchain maintains a comprehensive and immutable audit trail of all the transactions, providing a transparent and traceable record of the financial activities. This audit trail simplifies the identification and investigation of irregularities or discrepancies, improving the accuracy and reliability of the financial reporting. So basically, audit trail is properly maintained for all the transactions entered on the blockchain technology, along with the timestamps and the user stamps. So which is the user who has actually done this transaction or recorded this transaction, and at what date, what time. It is all being time stamped and user stamped. So complete audit trail is there so that later on it can be investigated for any irregularity or discrepancy, right? And the real-time financial reporting with blockchain's real-time data availability, because they are operating on a decentralized ledger. So same ledger is there. So information is all available on a real-time basis for both the organizations, right? And consensus mechanism, financial reporting can be performed more frequently with a greater accuracy. Organizations can generate up-to-date financial statements, enabling stakeholders to make informed decisions based on the most recent financial information. So earlier financial information was finalized, say for the March in the June, getting it audited in the July, being published in August. Now with the blockchain, for the March, probably it will be done within the first week of the April, right? So it will be available more real-time basis, right? Now, what are the examples where the blockchain is being used? For example, imagine a finance professional working for a multinational corporation that engages in complex supply chain operations. Okay. With blockchain technology, company can create a decentralized ledger that records every step of the supply chain process from the raw material sourcing to the final product delivery. So when the organization has purchased the raw material, from there, when the raw material is being used into converted into the WIP, converted into the finished goods, and finally the finished goods are sold or delivered. So from the raw material procurement till the finished goods are sold, complete transaction, can be recorded in the form of a chain in a decentralized ledger with the blockchain technology. So this is what the blockchain will be facilitating. Each transaction is securely recorded on the blockchain, providing real-time visibility and transparency to all the stakeholders involved. The finance professional can easily access the blockchain to verify the authenticity and accuracy of the transaction, ensuring compliance with the regulatory requirements and building trust with customers, investors, and auditors. So basically, the end-to-end transaction will be available on a real-time basis to the users of the blockchain technology, right? That is what blockchain will be helping us with. Another example could be, consider a finance professional responsible for conducting an audit of a large e-commerce platform, for example, Flipkart. Okay. Now we are going to audit the Flipkart. Traditionally, audit involves manually reviewing numerous financial transactions and reconciling data from different sources. For all the debtors, we used to ask our clients that get the confirmation from the debtors. For all the banks, get the confirmation from the banks for the balances. For all the creditors and liabilities, get the confirmation from the lenders or banks, right? So this is the general audit procedure we have been doing, since ages. So it is a time consuming process and prone to errors. Why? Because we usually, first of all, we extract the list of the debtors, list of creditors, list of banks, and list of loans. Then we ask the management to prepare the confirmation letters. Then those letters get printed, get it signed by the CFO. Then those are couriered to those respective parties, right? Then they receive those letters. Some respond, some do not respond, right? So this is all time consuming process, audit process, right? Now with the blockchain technology, e-commerce platforms can implement a blockchain-based payment system and automatically records and timestamps every transaction. So because this is operating on a decentralized ledger, so whatever the transactions are being happening between the entities and their third parties, those are all recorded in the same ledger and they are very much time stamped as well, right? So during the audit process, finance professional can access the blockchain ledger to instantly verify those transaction details and reconcile data and ensure compliance with the accounting standards and regulatory guidance, whatever. So this streamlined approach improves the audit efficiency, reduces the risk of human error, and enhances the accuracy of the financial reporting. So these are certain examples. There are some more examples given in your study material. So you just take this chapter, read that carefully with the examples given there. There are some 2-3 questions as well given, theoretical questions of some scenario based. You just do them, and you will be able to understand it better, right? You can do some googling as well around the blockchain, how the blockchain is impacting world today. What are the new application areas where blockchain technology is being used? Just try surfing all these topics over the Google. You will get to know more about these new technologies which are not yet fully developed. Okay, so Mansha is saying, what is tribe accounting in the blockchain? Tribe accounting? Sorry, what do you mean by that? Tanisha is saying, okay. Mansha is saying, is there any impact on India by using blockchain accounting? So as such, see, India's is a gap, right? India's is nothing different from, I get from that perspective. So there are certain accounting pronouncements under IGAP 2, under India's 2, IFRS, US GAAP, or maybe other gaps, right? So all these accounting standards have their different accounting policies or accounting pronouncements. Don't see that India's is something which is different in principle from the IGAP or other gaps, right? All these are gaps. Now, for any accounting gap, if we want to use any ERP or any technology, right? So we should, be integrate the accounting requirements within the ERP, whatever the accounting policies we have chosen, and basis on that, ERP will be, function to, record those transactions. So when there were IGAP, so basis on the IGAP, ERP was being, function. Now there is a India's. So ERPs are now customized to record the accounting requirements of the India's. For example, let me take an example. India's 115, revenue from contracts with customers. Now that standard talks about that, you need to follow the 5-step model, identify the customer, identify the, performance obligations, determine the transaction price, allocate the transaction price, and then recognize the revenue, right? These are the 5 steps. Now, there were no such steps in our AS9 IGAP. So IGAP AS9 requirements were different. India's 115 requirements are different, although company in terms of doing business, doing the same thing, right? So they were in the IGAP regime as well, they were selling the same product and services to the customers. In India's regime as well, they are selling the same product and services to the customer, right? But under IGAP, sales were recorded in a different manner. Now under India's, sales were recorded in a different manner, right? So this requirement will get updated into the ERP. So ERP now is functioned enough to understand how much performance obligations are discharged. Basis on that, revenue will be recognized in the revenue. Rest all will go to the deferred revenue or the liability, right? Contract liability. That's the thing. So ERP will be doing. Similar thing will be, facilitated by other upcoming technologies, for example, blockchain. So we need to command them that this is the ask from the accounting standard. Basis on that, some coding or some, customization will be required into the system. And accordingly, the system will start acting accordingly. They will record the transactions according to the instructions given to them, which are in compliance with the accounting standard. And as and when we change accounting policy, say, for example, in case of India 16, fixed assets, PPND, I would say property, plant and equipment. Suppose if company was adopting the cost model earlier, now they are changing the accounting policy from cost model to revaluation model. Then what is the proposed change? They need to get customized in their ERPs or fixed asset module within the ERP. They need to think through and get it done. Once that is done, ERP will be doing it accordingly. So ERP has to be, customized basis on the accounting policies chosen by the organization for various assets, liabilities, expenses, and income in compliance with the indices, right? So that, needs to be done as and when the ERP is getting implemented, right? Or whenever the company is migrating from ICAP to Indias, so they need to customize their ERPs accordingly. Otherwise, organizations will end up doing all the Indias adjustments manually to the financial statements. Okay, so that was blockchain. More research you can do on the Google, understand uh, latest aspects about the blockchain, where what are the new areas where blockchain technology is finding its application, and also do some web search on the accounting as well, accounting and financial reporting, how the blockchain is helping, if there is any new use case available for the blockchain technology for the accounting and reporting or financial preparations, that you can do the googling. Artificial intelligence is the next topic, right? So, what AI means? So, as the name suggests, artificial intelligence. So, intelligence is already there, right? Which humans have, right? So, humans are intelligent enough to understand the things and act accordingly, right? How the humans are intelligent? Because they have learned the things over the past by observation, right? So how, when we were born as babies, so do we know anything and everything around us? No. So we learned about the things by observing them, by listening them from our, parents and siblings, brothers, sister, and relatives, friends, and by reading them and by watching movies, etc., etc. So we used to gain knowledge by observing, listening, understanding, reading, etc., etc., etc. That is the intelligence we have. So this is called intelligence, that by observing something, we are able to understand it. By reading something, we are able to understand it. By listening something, we are able to understand it. That is called the intelligence. That is already functioned within us, right? By the grace of God. Now, systems, laptops, computers, or machines, do not have that intelligence. They need to be programmed by IT professionals by writing some coding, programming language in the background, right? Basis on those programs, codes, or instructions, this system performs the desired task, right? Till now. But now, what is happening? Companies are working, on AI to make the systems artificially intelligent as the humans are, right? So systems will also now start learning things by observing the past data trends, right? So AI is just a of human intelligence, simulation of human intelligence in machines, enabling them to perform the task that would typically require human intervention, right? So one of the example I would give you for artificial intelligence, for example, I receive 1,000 emails from different uh, senders. Okay, now if some AI is inbuilt in my laptop by the company, then AI will observe my behavior pattern on those emails. Okay. For example, suppose if I receive the email from, say, Mr. X, who is my boss, I immediately respond, right? So whenever there is an email from Mr. X in my inbox, system is observing that I respond those emails probably within 5 minutes or within next 10 minutes. So system will start developing the same trend, that as and when these emails come, they need to be prioritized as top priority, right? System will also learn what the Mr. X has asked me over the, say, 1 year, and what I have responded. So it starts learning that what is the ask and what is my response. What is the ask? What is my response? Right? They are, capturing all that ask and my response, and started developing some patterns or standardized responses. Basis on that, categorizing all those asks into certain categories and my responses accordingly. Right? So system is also trying to become smart. Now, for 3 years, system continuously observed me, my responses, my inbox, right? Now, at the end of the third year, my IT team asked me, okay, now you don't need to do any response on the emails. Now we have, functioned the AI. AI will automatically respond your emails. Okay, let me see how it will happen. Now, as and when the email comes, AI will read the email, it will find out email is from whom. If that is the priority one user, priority two, priority three, so it has already categorized it. Then what is the ask? Is the ask finding a similar ask in the past? Answer is yes. What was my response? It will, draft my response to that ask basis on this experience automatically, and giving me a pop-up message. Do you want to review or should I send? If I want to review, I can review, make edits, and send. Otherwise, AI will send the response automatically. So this is the AI. So artificially becoming intelligent over the period by observing the behaviors of the human, right? How I behave, how I have acted in the past, machine is observing me, and whatever my intelligence is, which I was using to behave in a certain manner, machine is getting that intelligence from me by watching or observing my actions and patterns, and it is getting as equally intelligent as I am, or in most of the cases, even more intelligent, much more intelligent, right? So once computers become completely artificial intelligent, I would say humans will be nowhere able to match the computer intelligence, right? So if AI becomes fully functional, then humans will be, ruled by the machines. I don't know if you must have seen the movies around AIs like Transformer, Transporter, all these American movies were there, where machines were becoming so intelligent they started ruling the humans, and humans become slaves of the machines, right? So just watch those movies to get a flavor of the artificial intelligence as and when you get time, because you are super busy with your CA final studies. So I will not say you watch movies, but at least for getting a flavor of artificial intelligence, just watch these 2 3 movies around artificial intelligence, so you get to know to what extent artificial intelligence can go, and if it goes actually to that extent what is depicted in those movies, then the planet will all belong to machines rather than humans, I would say. Okay. Apart from the aspects of automation, accuracy, fraud detection, cost savings, the most important feature is predictive analytics. This is the main thing. So please focus on keywords for different technologies. For blockchain technology, the keywords are decentralized ledger, immutable ledger, right? For artificial intelligence are predictive analysis, because what AI is doing, AI is predicting what I would have done, AI will do, because AI has observed me for last 3 years doing the same thing, right? So AI has learned my intelligence. Now it is acting on behalf of me, and it will act in 100% cases better than me, I would say, because it will be faster as compared to me, and it will be more accurate as compared to me. I might have done some mistakes in drafting my responses, grammatical mistakes, English mistakes, vocab mistakes. I might be struggling with vocab. I may not find suitable words to articulate my, proper meaning. But AI will not do that. AI will understand what is my intention, but it will do it faster, more accurate, grammatically completely accurate, and with the perfect fit wordings from the Oxford Dictionary or the vocabulary. Correct? So AI will replace the humans completely if it gets functioned to that extent what the engineers are doing. I'm not sure why they are doing. AI can be used to analyze large amounts of data and make predictions about future trends, which can be helpful or useful for forecasting financial performance and identifying the potential risks. Thus, AI has the potential to transform the accounting profession by enabling the accountants to provide more accurate and timely financial information to their clients. So, see, once AI is functional in the accounting field, so whatever the accountants have been doing, AI will observe, learn, and implement, and it will do it more accurately, in a better way, and in a faster way, right? So humans will be completely replaced. That's what you know has already been shown in those movies. Artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning. So machine learning means machine is learning by observing the humans. So machine is not programmed. Now, earlier we have been doing the coding. Software engineers have been doing the coding. Basis on those codings, software acts. Now machine learning is what? Machine is observing you, learning the things itself, and once instructed, they will perform the things on your behalf. You sit on the recliner, they will do the things. So AI and ML are the technologies that enable computers to learn and perform tasks without being explicitly programmed to do so. Now there is no programming, no coding is required. Machine will learn from you and it will do better from you. AI and ML are having a significant impact on accounting profession, enabling accounting professionals to automate the routine tasks, improve decision making process, and reduce errors. So suppose any of the journal entries which you have been preparing using the ERP through the coding. Now AI, if functioned within the ERP, it will observe how the journal entry has been prepared, which reports you had downloaded, what changes you have made to those reports, then what is the calculations you have performed, basis on which GL is debited or credited by you. It is observing you, and after the observation is completed, it has learned all that and it will do it automatically without your involvement within the ERP, right? So that's what the role of AI is. Getting this cleared? Let me see the chat box. It's similar to chat gpt. Yes, chat gpt is AI only. It is called open AI. Okay, so chat gpt, I don't know how many people have actually used, but when I had used it, I was literally shocked and surprised to see the application of chat gpt. It can do the things in seconds which you otherwise would have done in a month or a year. So Kaushik is saying, today I understood actually the case of AI very well explained. Thank you, Kaushiki, for the good feedback. Mansha is saying technology make our decisions more competitive, but it can't replace human strategic insights, emotions. Oh, I understand. Have you watched the movie, Rajnikant movie and Aishwarya Rai movie? Which movie was that? Robot, I guess. In that movie, it was shown that robot also learned the emotions, right? Did you see that movie? So AI will learn the emotions as well. It can act on your behalf the way you have acted. And I would say it will act better than you emotionally as well. So it will learn the emotions too. So that is the, expectation from the AI. And it is doing it. Yeah, Robot is the movie, right? So even I was at that time when I watched that movie, I was saying, what is the movie is showing up? This is all, imagination. But now I can correlate that. Yes, because AI is in place, AI are doing certain things, and they can learn the emotion as well. They can really replicate you in a particular scenario. They will learn how you have how you have acted, in a particular scenario emotionally. They will observe you, learn you, and will act accordingly on your behalf. Yes. So many of the people have watched Robot movie. I think you are able to correlate. And Suraj is saying, sir, but ultimately, even robots are created by humans only. I'm not denying robots are being created by humans, correct? That's perfect. Shruti is saying, sir, what we will do then if all things AI will do? So we will do some other things. I'm not sure what we will do. Mansha is saying, no, we only India's. So only India's. Okay. So what are the benefits of the AI and ML when used in accounting? That's what we need to understand now, right? So automated data entry. So AI will, do the JE preparation automated, right? So all the journal entries will be prepared basis on the data extracted from the invoices, receipts, and other documents, underlying documents, reducing the need for the manual data entry. So, for example, when you receive the invoice for the purchase, you select the supplier in the ERP, hit the supplier GL, then make the purchase entry, debit, credit the respective GLs, then post it, right? This is the thing what we are doing at present. Now AI will do it automatically. As soon as the invoice is there in the system, it will read the invoice, it will find who is the supplier, it will identify the subledger of the supplier, it will automatically prepare the journal entry and submit it into the ERP. So that is what AI and ML will do. So AI and ML algorithms can also review bank statements, pass the entries in the system, followed by a bank reconciliation, thereby automating the entire process, saving time, improving efficiency. So it will lead for end-to-end process. You don't need to do anything. Just observe, getting the things done by AI and ML. Fraud detection. AI can help detect fraud by analyzing large amounts of data and identifying patterns that may indicate fraudulent activity. So, because AI has the capability of drawing trends on the past, say 5 years data, 10 years data, and basis on that, they can predict what is going to happen in the future in next 3 years, 5 years, if assume the same things continue, right? So they can do the predictive analysis as well. And basis on that predictive analysis, they can identify the areas where the frauds or risk of fraud can be there. They will issue the red flags on those spots today so that proactive measures can be taken. For financial forecasting, ML can be used to develop predictive models that can forecast financial performance based on the historical data, market trends, and other factors. So, financial forecasting, because AI is equipped with the predictive analysis. That is the key thing. Now, AI can do a prediction. So, because AI is equipped with predictive models, so they can, forecast the future financial performance basis on the historical performance of the company, right? So predictive models can be of particular advantage when estimates are required to be made in the financial reporting. For instance, where the store sells goods and offers vouchers, giving the customer a discount on subsequent purchases under India's 115 requires a degree of estimation of the likelihood of the availing of such a discount to record the revenue. Predictive models can track the customer's preferences and likelihood of availing the voucher, in which case the estimation of the revenue as required under India's 115 becomes more realistic. Now, let's go back to India's 115. So, India's 115 says, suppose a company, say for example, Shopper Stop, okay, when you purchase say goods worth rupees 10,000, you get a discount voucher, say 25% on your next purchase to be redeemed whenever you come back to the showroom and purchase another goods worth of rupees 10,000, right? Now, today, Shopper Stop, how the Shopper Stop will be recording the revenue? So it has sold goods worth rupees 10,000 to you today, correct? Now, in IGAP, the accounting would be simple. Bank account debit 10,000 to sales account debit credit 10,000, right? That was the entry in IGAP. But under India's, because Shopper Stop has given a voucher to you of 25% discount on your next purchase, so there is another performance obligation which Shopper Stop has assumed by making this 10,000 worth sales today. So now under India's entry would be bank account debit 10,000. Okay. And two sales X and two future revenue or deferred revenue or contract liability, whatever nomenclature or name you want to use, right? So there wouldn't be 10,000 sale. There would be X sale, which would be somewhere lesser to the 10,000. Now, how this contract liability will be measured? So India's 115 says you need to measure it basis on the probability the customer will come back and redeem the voucher. Now, basis on the past trend, which indicates that 80% of the cases, customer comes back and redeems this voucher. So 80% would be the probability. Getting my point? But this 80%, how we are getting? Suppose we are analyzing the data for say last 5 years for all the customers of the company, right? If we have made the sales to 2 lakh customers in last 5 years, 1,80,000 or 1,75,000 customers have come back with the voucher and redeemed those vouchers successfully, right? So 1,70,000 divided by 2 lakh, whatever the percentage is, that is the probability that the customer will come back. But how we are able to derive this once we, extract all these 5 years data for all the customer and then compute whoever customer has, redeemed, whoever customer has not redeemed, right? Now, just give me a second, please. Okay, sorry. Somebody was at the door. So now AI, how AI will help us in doing this, prediction. So AI will fetch all the data automatically, do a trend analysis, and it will forecast how much sales we are going to, make in the future. And basis on that, it will apply this probability and come up with the contract liability already. And will suggest us that basis on your past historical experience, this is the probability that the customer will come back and take the benefit of this discount voucher, right? Doing that, it is making the process much faster, right? At the time of entry, AI is doing this analysis ready, right? Whenever the sales is punched, it is already doing this analysis ready, and as on day by day basis, as and when the new sales are getting punched in, it is updating this analysis, factoring into all the current sales as well, current sales patterns as well, right? So this is how AI and ML can help us by to address the requirements of India's 115 as well, right? And similarly other Indias as well, wherever the predictive analysis is required, wherever the probability analysis is required. Okay. Accounting automation. AI can analyze financial statements and other data to identify errors or inconsistencies, making accounting more efficient and accurate. Correct? So what accounting automation means? It can analyze your financial statements now to identify if there are any errors or inconsistencies. So for example, there can be a complete India's requirements disclosure checklist built into the ERP. AI will ensure that whether the financial statements prepared are actually ensuring that all the required disclosures by the respective indices are being captured or not. If they are not, then it will highlight which all disclosures you are missing on in the financial statements and which are applicable to your company, right? So it will give a exception report as well to you that for this index, say index 109, these disclosures are not, we are able to find. For index 32, these are the disclosures missing. For index 20, these are the disclosure missing. For index 8, these are the disclosure missing. For example, if you have changed any accounting policy during the year, right? Or you have done a change in estimate, but you are missing on disclosure for change in estimate or change in accounting policy in your notes to accounts, AI will read your financials like the human is reading the financials and picking up which disclosure is not there, which otherwise would have been there, right? So this is how AI, can replace the human intelligence. Tax compliance. AI can help automate tax compliance by analyzing financial data and identifying tax obligations, ensuring that business remain compliant with tax regulations. So AI can ensure that your financial data is well captured there as per the requirements of the respective tax laws, for example, GST or the income tax, and it can identify, tax obligations by preparing the draft returns and, before submission. It will populate all the returns automatically basis on the data available and show it up to you, right? Because it has already understood what all adjustments you have done to the data before, finalizing the returns. So it has taken care of those adjustments as well now, right? So that is the role AI and ML are playing in, any questions or thoughts? Okay. So Mancha is saying we will program the robot. We will teach robot how to apply NDS. Correct. Future is expecting that to happen. Shruti is saying, sir, I thought this chapter will be boring, but you have made it really interesting and the real life example. Thank you, sir. Thanks, Shruti, for the nice words. Any questions or value add anybody wants to do? I'm happy to hear from you guys as well. If you want to add something for the benefit of the larger group. Okay. Now, whenever the new things come in, they come with certain pros, advantages, and certainly there are some challenges as well, right? So everything in this world has pros and cons, right? Be it living things or non-living things, right? Everybody has pros and cons. So what are the cons? Along with the advantages of the AI and ML, there are following potential challenges and the risks associated with the adoption of AI and machine learning, like data privacy. So because now machines are becoming intelligent as you are, and probably they will be more intelligent than you. So whatever your private data is stored on your mobiles or laptops will be read by those machines. And now they are intelligent as well. They understand the things as well, like the you do. So data privacy is at risk, right? Security concerns, same thing. Technical complexity. Now because we have created the computer so smart or the machines so smart that we will not be able to control them because they have actually become smarter than us. Eventually they will be starting controlling us, right? So technical complexity is there. Who is controlling to whom, nobody knows going forward. And employees need to train in the organization to extract capability of AI from the system, right? So we have to be on the top of the relevant trainings and upgradation so that we understand and use these AIs for our benefit rather than uh, getting exposed to their disadvantages or challenges. Okay, now let's see example of the AI in the financial reporting because that is the area where we need to uh, master ourselves. So XYZ company, a large multinational corporation, needs to prepare its financial statements according to the Indias, right? That is our duty. We need to prepare the financial statements as per the Indias. The company has a vast amount of the financial data stored in various formats, including spreadsheets, PDFs, and the scanned documents, right? So there are certain PDFs who is spreading over here and there, some spreadsheets over there, some formats are there, schedule 3, division 2 or 3, whichever is applicable to us, and some certain scanned documents. All these data and information is scattered around, which we need to take care, and we have been doing it since ages. Now, manually extracting and analyzing all this data is time consuming and error prone, right? So now we are reading the contracts, because as per India's 115 we are expected to understand the contract first. We need to identify the performance obligations, then we need to determine the total transaction price, then we need to allocate that determined overall transaction price to those respective performance obligations, then we need to recognize revenue basis on the performance obligations getting satisfied, right? So this is the India's 115 requirement. Now, as a human, I need to read all those contracts. I need to segregate these performance obligations will be fulfilled this year. These will be fulfilled next year. Like all these analysis, I need to do manually. Sometimes agreements are not, properly, drafted. So I'm struggling to understand what actually performance obligation is. So all these manual things are there, right? Then certain instructions are there, certain appendices are there. So all these voluminous agreements, I need to read, understand, summarize, and accordingly give instruction to my ERP that, okay, this performance obligation is separate, this performance obligation is separate. Hence, you need to, book the revenue according to these performance obligations. So all that structuring I need to do, right? Manually. And this is all data time consuming and error prone. Suppose if I did not interpret the language correctly, then it will be erroneous as well on my part. Now, what AI will do here? So by implementing the AI driven optical character recognition OCR technology. So optical character recognition technology is basically used by the organizations for the contract reading. Suppose there is a 100-page contract. So there are two choices. Either I ask somebody in my organization to read this contract, come up with the summary, and let me know what are the key clauses in the agreement. Or I will use the OCR technology. OCR technology will scan the 100 pages agreement within seconds, and it will populate, key clauses basis on which decision has to be made, right? So OCR technology is being widely used globally as well as in India by the companies for the contract reading and contract extraction of the main clauses, right? And this technology I have also used personally, multiple times for the contract extraction, specifically for India's 115 and IFRS 15 recognition of performance obligations. Okay. Now, what does this do? So this AI driven OCR reads, say, 200 agreements, and on those 200 agreements, it will come up with a crystallized, clear, standardized summary of the performance obligations, and it will throw it up for the review that this is the summary. Now, instead of reading 100 agreements of 100 pages, I just need to review. These are the identified performance obligations, right? And basis on that, if there are any changes, basis on my knowledge I need to make, I will do those changes. Those changes are also being understood by this AI, because AI is also observing what I am doing, edits in this data populated. Now, next time when AI will run, so it will factor into those adjustments as well, which I have done now. So it is getting improvised day by day. At every instance, it is getting improvised, right? And it will facilitate the complete error-free data extraction, or clauses extraction from those agreements or identified performance obligations, basis on which I can finalize the revenue accounting. So this is how AI will help you. So this enables seamless analysis and financial reporting, reducing human effort and minimizing the risk of errors, right? Okay. So Kaushik is saying, yes, I agree. It's interesting. Thanks. Shruti is saying, Happy New Year in advance. I have not yet completed the lecture. Anyways, Happy New Year to you. And that India has recorded class is not updated. Sir, please ask the technical person to do. I have asked it. Okay. Anybody in this group uh, has access to that remaining portion of the lecture? If yes, please share it with the other participants too. Because I don't think, it was not shared with you. Mr. Yadu Kondulu saying, thank you, sir. You explained very well. Thanks for the comments. Okay. Now, India's accounting and information technology. How India's will be, using the IT or is using the IT nowadays, right? Let's have a quick understanding of that before we wind up the session for the day. India predominantly is a principle-based framework. India consists of specific principles for various accounting topics, right? We know IFRS is India's are principle-based. They are not like a rule-based accounting framework, right? Such as revenue recognition, that is the most important, leasing 116, financial instrument 109, employee benefits 19, consolidation 110, and many more, right? These principles provide detailed guidance on how to account for transactions in accordance with the principles of the measurement and recognition, right? So all these standards talk about their accounting and disclosure requirements related to the matters they are, covering, right? For implementation of these indices, the technology will play a key role in automating the processes, validating and generating the reports, right? So anyway, whatever the ERP or technology we are using, they will be, facilitating the India's implementation as well as the India's accounting. Like I just took an example of the contract extraction, right? And identification of the performance obligations within the contract by using the OCR, correct optical character reader. So the role of technology for such processing is directly related to the configuration at the account level with rule-based validations. Confirmation configuration implements predefined validation rules within the system to identify discrepancy or non-compliance with the Indias. So these systems will be, like I previously said, customized basis on the requirements of the Indias, and they will throw the exception to you whenever certain item is not meeting the requirements of the defined India's requirements in the system. So system does not know the Indias, right? So system will be told what exactly is the expectation, and it will give you the exception that you have asked for this, but data is this, and this is the gap. This you need to let us know. So going forward, as soon as you do the customizations, it will be fully equipped to factor in all the requirements of all the indices. So this is how the ERPs, are becoming smarter. Configuration is not done properly, the next phase of the using technology will be after generating the reports. So because these UATs, right, have to be done before, making the system go live. So generally what happens, accounting team in conjunction with the IT specialist, information technology specialist, they both, do the discussions. Accounting team tells the requirements, IT team understands, writes the logic, customize the system, then generate a sample output. That output is being reviewed by the accounting team. Accounting team says, okay, yes, this was expected. As soon as they say, okay, it gets go live, and going forward, it is all taken care by the system. This is how the implementation of, technology happens in India. So use of technology is about applications such as Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets, which can be used to perform such validations from the India's point of view and then generate the report. This is purely dependent on human intelligence rather than on technology, except for the cases where AI is involved with proper training and machine learning, right? So how India's requirements will be met, we need to define once in the system. Once it is defined completely and accurately, system will take care of it, right? Or otherwise, the next option is we start using AI. So whenever we are fetching the reports and making the changes, and uploading those reports. So AI will understand what are the changes made by us, what are the India's adjustments made by us. They will take care going forward, right? So that's the only way of getting the India's implemented by using IT. So that was it from my side. I hope you liked the session, and I wish you all the very best for your examination and a very happy new year to all of you in advance. I wish you everybody will become chartered accountant in 2024, whoever has the attempt in 2024, right? With note, I'm winding up the session. If there is anything anybody wants to highlight or ask, I can wait for 30 seconds. Otherwise, I will log off. Okay. Thanks, Mansha, Shruti, Kaushiki, and everybody else. Thank you all. I'm logging off then. Session is over.